This is a huge game of football we have coming up. The 4th placed Lauderdale Bombers up against the 5th placed North Hobart Demons. There's a bit of a logjam in the middle of the TSL ladder at the moment, and this game between 4th and 5th is likely to have a big impact on what the structure of finals footy looks like in this admittedly very different but exciting 2020 TSL season. My name is Anthony Osborne, bringing you the action today, and to my left I have the great Ryan Rosendale. Great to be with you today, Ryan. You looking forward to today's game?
Oz, mate, pleasure to be with you. Yes, very much looking forward to this contest. Should be a cracking game, as you just said. Both teams trying to separate themselves, from that logjam in the middle of the ladder, and obviously the Bombers coming off a really impressive win last week against the Tigers in North Hobart, looking to rebound after 2 straight losses.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the years gone by, a Lauderdale and North Hobart game probably wouldn't have the anticipation of this match. We've seen the two teams very much at opposite ends of the ladder for the best part of the last couple of years, but I guess the nature of this season, we're up to round 8 at the moment, and we're still not entirely sure of what the pecking order looks like, particularly for the southern clubs. It looks like the two northern teams are going to be the ones to beat at this stage, but there really is that logjam in the middle. And a game like this today, obviously the two teams have played once before this season, back in round 3, and it was North Hobart who got the chocolates on that occasion, 33 points. That was at North Hobart Oval as well. So this return fixture, I'm sure Darren Winter's men will have a bee in their bonnet, and they'll be trying to get one back. Yeah,
that was obviously the start of a 3-game losing streak for the Bombers, but as we just said, they had the bye in round 6, came out fresh against the Tigers in round 7, and they kicked the first 6 goals last week, and they looked pretty ominous early.
Yeah, certainly, and I think on the other flip side of the coin, North Hobart, for all the positivity around the Demons this year, they haven't actually won a game since round 3. They had the bye in round 4, a loss to Launceston by only 3 points in round 5, and then losses to Glenorchy and Clarence in the last fortnight. So they're currently sitting at 2 and 4, and with that logjam that's happening at the moment, a win like this, or a game like this today, is a really important one for them to win, considering with this young side, they've shown a lot of promising signs, but perhaps haven't got the wins on the board that they probably deserved.
Yeah, you mentioned, I think I heard Bear Robinson, the North Hobart coach, speak during the week about just they probably just lack that bit of intent and willingness to get, I guess, that early part of form they had in the first part of the season. Obviously, that round 1, they went up north, and obviously only had the 10-point loss to North Launceston. Had a really good 10-point win the following week against the Tigers, and then as we spoke about previously, they had that really good win, probably their best in maybe a year or two, against Lauderdale in round 3. So there's no doubt that Bears really drilled into the boys this week that this is a must-win game for this side if they want to be a real contender. And as we saw against Launceston in round 5, they can definitely take it up to the best teams in the competition. So if they can get that mindset part of their game back to where it was early part of the season, I feel like we're going to be in for a cracking contest.
Certainly will. And yeah, as we touched on already, these two teams do look quite different to what they have in previous seasons. I'm really keen to see the real flurry of Lauderdale imports, to see how they fare today. Luke Nelson, Nathan Oakes with VFL experience, Adrian Kalkowski as well. And then the North Hobart side of things, we've seen the young Devils players really take their opportunities with both hands this year, the Sam Collins, Hamish Allens of the world. But there's a fair bit of hype about one Julian DeBoz coming in today. Yeah, he's such an experienced player. He's got 78 senior games under the Demons brand, already under his belt, but this is his first TSL game since 2015 after a stint in Victoria. And for a young team to have a big focal point up forward like DeBoz, it's going to be pretty critical today, isn't it, Ryan?
It's a massive inclusion. Obviously, he hasn't played a game, I don't think, in the state league under the North Hobart umbrella. Obviously, he played back in 2015 for Hobart City, but it was very, probably pre-season, it wasn't a lot of about North Hobart year was a bit of unknown. Obviously, they lose Sam Darley due to COVID, to lose Colin Garland to the old scholars, but you throw in guys like, as we said, Jack Sandricks had a really good season. Now we throw in DeBoz, older guys like the Fisher brothers, Troy Cunliffe. It really, and as you spoke about, Oz, you bring in those Devils players for a full season. I think they've obviously surprised a few teams this year, and a guy like DeBoz is just going to add a lot of firepower up forward for them.
It's just great to have footy back, isn't it, Ryan?
It is.
A day like today, it's an absolute cracker.
Pretty lucky down in Hobart.
Certainly are.
Have footy back.
Yeah, no, it's good that I think all the players are just loving being back involved as well. You can see Bryce Walsh and Nathan McCulloch just doing the fist bump in the middle.
Bryce Walsh played a really good game last week. Obviously, I think he's come out midweek. It did seem like during the game he had a run with Kieran Lovell as the coin toss goes up. Looks like the D's have won that. They're going to kick to the, what do we call that end, Aussie?
I think typically you might call that the swamp end, I reckon.
We'll go with the swamp end today.
Down left of the screen, left of your radio dial if you're just listening in.
We'll go with the Swamp End. Yeah, but as I was saying, Bryce Walsh had a run with Kieran Lovell, who's one of the major ball winners of the competition. He played a really good game last week, had 24 disposals, 6 tackles, and kicked a goal against the Tigers. He was pretty influential early, Bryce. So I'd be interested to see if he gets a run with Roll today, potentially on Jack Sandrick or another one of those maybe Devils young North Hobart midfielders.
So we saw last week, Clarence kicked the opening 2 goals of that game against the Demons. The North Hobart boys replied with the next 5, but from there on it was really Clarence's defence that stifled North Hobart. So the fact that DeBoz is up there is going to be really interesting. I think there's going to be some real key matchups right across the park today. I'm keen to see Hayden Smith and Hamish Allen go head-to-head. Allen was an overager with the Devils last year, had an injury-interrupted season, but going up against Hayden Smith, it's almost like seeing a younger version of Smith go against himself. They're 2 of the bigger, more imposing ruckmen in the competition. And as we've already touched on a couple of times with DeBoz, just to see how Lauderdale go about matching up on someone with all the attributes that he has as well.
I feel like maybe a guy like Will Poland could potentially get the job on DeBoz. He's been in pretty good form after crossing from the Tigers. He had a pretty quiet game against his old side last week, but other than that, he's been in ripping form all year, so I definitely wouldn't be surprised if he gets a match up on DeBoz today.
Looking forward to calling this one with you, Ryan Rosendale. You can see the cars lined up down at Skybar Oval, always a good crowd in, and I think to see TSL football at a ground like Skybar Oval is always an entertaining prospect. The locals do love their football down at what they call the Sunshine Peninsula. It's looking fairly sunny today. A few clouds overhead, but pretty good conditions all in all. And looking forward to this one. Just before the opening bounce from young umpire Chris Kay, I want you to give me your tip, Ryan.
On the spot. Look, I think if the D's can hold the Bombers early, not let them get out of the box like they did last week against the Tigers, I think they might be in with a shot today. But as we know, this Lauderdale side's pretty experienced and they tend to play Skybar Oval considerably well. So I think I might have to go with Lauderdale. Ozzy, what about you, mate?
Well, wasn't expecting the return, to be honest with you, the return serve.
Chuck it back on you.
I think I will go with, to make things interesting, I'll go North Hobart. We can see that Sam Siggins and Sam Caswell going head-to-head early, so it looks like Caswell's got that job. Siggins just telling him, I'm the boss around here, as the umpire throws the ball in the air to start this one. Hamish Allen against Hayden Smith. Immediately down to Caswell, who just hacks the ball towards half forward. As players just start to retaliate back, the umpire says that was a throw, so immediately that's Jake Steele up against Will Poland by the looks of it there. And North Hobart with the first forward foray. But Robbie McManus picks the ball up at half back, looking in the Bell Chambers direction inboard. McGuinness beset upon. The pressure's up and about early in this contest. So having a quick look here. Looks like it might be Oscar Shaw. I'll have to check on that one. Might be a late inclusion. So we'll keep an eye on that one.
It's like Josh McGuinness is getting a bit of attention.
The umpire's gone the other way. So free kick going the way of North Hobart. Michael Fisher with the ball inside the centre square.
Fisher goes inside 50 now. Long kick. No one really marks it. It looks like someone has taken a grab, and it's the man we spoke about pre-game in Julian DeBoz.
Well, we spoke about him. It was the dominant topic of conversation before this match, and he's immediately got himself involved in the game again. Just
took a sneaky one over the back. We didn't catch it on the monitor, but he's definitely called that one, and it's a good grab, and that's definitely a positive early for Bear Robinson, no doubt. So DeBoz is going to line up now. He's a very, very big man. He's going to come in, say about 40 out from goal. Probably comes in. They like it. And DeBoz has made a blistering return to the TSL as he kicks the first goal of the day for North Hobart.
So a bit of ill discipline creeping in early. You can see a couple of players just going at it off the ball, but every North Hobart player on the field runs to Julian DeBoz. Perfect start for the Demons. Perfect start for the returning Demon in DeBoz. North Hobart, one straight kick. Lauderdale yet to score. You can just see early on again, Fisher really didn't hesitate. He just got the ball in line.
Straight in,
didn't try and set up a target. He just knew that he had a couple of tall bodies down there. And I think having DeBoz with the likes of Jake Steele inside 50.
Nathan Hardy's another guy down there.
Hardy as well. Allen will probably rest down there as well. It's going to give the Lauderdale defenders plenty to think about.
There's a bit of attention on Sam Siggins in the middle. Obviously, he was BOG last week. So keep an eye on that one. Looks like he might be copping a bit as the ball goes up. Allen wins that one down, but Smith with the follow-up. Gets it out to the man we just spoke about in Siggins. Kick it out to the wing. Mark taken there by Sutton. He slows the play up, comes back inside. Not much of a kick. Bell Chambers 4-on-1. He doesn't do much with it. McCulloch could have been taken high. He has. Free kick there to the skipper and McCulloch. He's not happy with the treatment from Bell Chambers. Umpire's whistle's blown. He's just going to hold play up here. There's a bit of tension early in this one, Aussie.
Certainly is. Umpire Nathan Geeson just trying to assert his control on this contest. So Bell Chambers almost a bit of a professional free kick, I would have thought there, just to slow things down as North Hobart go out wide to Hugh Williams, the former captain. Drives the ball to half forward in the direction of Hamish Allen, unable to take the mark. Jai Menzies down there at ground level. So is Jeremiah Perkins for Lauderdale. Nick Baker, former Hobart City Demon, also involved, but will have a stoppage. Umpire Nick Butler to ball the ball up inside North Hobart's attacking 50. So North Hobart getting their hands on the ball early as Jake Steele wins that football down. Runner out wide for North Hobart and Paddy Walker just kicks around the corner in the DeBoz direction, dishes off the handball, shot on goal. Misses the lot.
Good handball there from DeBoz for a big man.
Can say umpire Jacob Bevis there just marking the point where that one out of bounds on the full. So Jai Menzies, again, just that mosquito fleet at ground level for North Hobart. They'd be loving having a guy like DeBoz down there as well, right?
Definitely handy having him in today with that small forward group as the ball comes back into play now. Just in front of the North Hobart bench. Ground ball. Looks like it might have gone out. It has. It's going to be a boundary throw and his umpire's whistle was blown. We spoke about that rack battle pre-game, Oz. Obviously, Hamish Allen's a guy that probably has had a lot of TSL experience compared to a guy like Hayden Smith. Do you think he's probably going to win that battle across the ground, or Smith's got just too much in his tank for him?
Yeah, Hayden Smith's probably one of the more improved performers the last couple of years in the TSLs. The umpire blows their whistle. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Hayden Smith. I think it's going to be a fascinating battle. I think Allen will learn a lot going against a guy like Hayden Smith, who's a much more physical ruckman than some others in the competition. So Smith has the ball at half-back now, just hoists the ball down the wing in the direction, but a good mark taken in the end for North Hobart. That's Bailey Walker, become an integral member of this North Hobart defence. He just kicks the ball from where it once came, and a strong mark taken.
That man again.
That's an excellent mark from DeBoz, who just gives Bryce Walsh a little bit to think about, and it looks like it's a reversal. Hayden Smith gets stuck into DeBoz.
Definitely wouldn't be surprised if there's a report on there. It was bit of just a little gut shot in the guts. Definitely floored Walsh.
That was directly in front of Bear Robinson as well, Ryan, so I think he would probably have some words for his key forward at quarter time.
Especially after you take a great mark like that. As the ball comes back into play, the man in McGuinness has got it. He kicks up the wing, commentary side of the ground. Ball stays in play there, and Phil Bell Chambers has got it. He comes back inside, looking for a man. He's found him in Bryce Walsh, the man we just spoke about. He's recovered well from that little gut punch. He switches it across the ground, looking for Will Francis. He ground ball, one hand pick up, really good there. Immediately set upon, and it's a great tackle by Thomas Reeves, and it could be holding the ball, and I think it is. Yeah,
good work from Tom Reeves. He's come on in leaps and bounds the last couple of years. Former Hutchins and Tasmania Devils footballer. He finds Steele, who dishes the handball out wide. North Hobart with some runners as they go forward once again. Little chip kick finds Patrick Walker. I feel like we're going to be talking about a lot of Devils players this afternoon as he just hoists the ball inside 50. Not his best work, Paddy Walker. Will Poland takes an uncontested mark in the back pocket.
Ball comes back into play now. Looks like it might be Sutton there's got it deep in defence. He comes back inboard. Bell Chambers takes a good mark. Not a great kick though. Works out all right. Heavey's got it. Handball off to Sutton again. They're using this side of the ground a lot today, the Bombers. Gives it to Nelson. Kick 3 last week against the Tigers. Looked really good. It's number 29 now in Harry Richmond, the other goal kicker from last week. Snag 3, he's got it. Looking for an option. Goes straight up the line. No one really gets it, but the ball comes to ground. North Hobart defence clean up, but a lot of pressure there from Heavey. He goes off the ground. Ball goes deep. No one there other than Adrian Kowalski. He dodges one, gets around him and puts the first one on the board for the Bombers. Really good work there by Adrian Kowalski, the VFL import. Yeah, classy stuff from Kowalski. I know it didn't work out in their favour, but I loved Hamish Allen just bending down and getting the ball himself as a tall ruckman. Handball, I guess his hard work wasn't really matched by his teammate, but in the end, Kowalski, really good work. Obviously, strong goal sense for Kowalski. He spent a bit of time Collingwood VFL and with Vermont in Victoria as well. So for him to hit the scoreboard early and just continue his form at his new club is a really strong start for Lauderdale. After North Hobart, a couple of repeat inside 50 entries. That's exactly what Darren Winter would have wanted out of his troops. Spoke last week with Brent Costello that I called with last week, and I just said that at any time you can bring in 3 VFL imports into an already absolute outstanding Lauderdale lineup is good for the competition as the ball gets bounced and it's kick out by Lauderdale forward. That man again in Kowalski's got it. He runs inside 50. Could have a ping here. Looks good. punched over the line by the North Hobart defender.
So Kalkowski just getting his hands on the football, looking very dangerous at the moment. North Hobart, they look to bring the ball back out of defence. Kick there.
That man again, Kalkowski with a smother.
Again, he's just getting himself involved, isn't he, Ryan? Really promising start from him. Baxter Norton involved for North Hobart, but again, just in front of the Lauderdale faithful. Positive start from Kalkowski. Lauderdale 7 plays North Hobart 6, 8 minutes into this contest. Boundary throw in. Attacking 50 for the Bombers. Allen competing in the ruck this time. He did win it decisively down. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Sam Caswell. He looks to be running with Bryce Walsh at the moment. He drives the ball out of defensive 50. A couple of players set. Nick Baker was there for Lauderdale, unable to take the mark. As Will Parlin drives the ball back to the attacking side of the ground for Lauderdale. A couple of Lauderdale players combined. Callum Kilpatrick for North Hobart swoops on the ball though, and Baxter Norton just strides his way through Skybus Oval, the centre of the ground, drives the ball to half forward. Lauderdale under the pump at the moment as Hardy looks to run away. In the end, he realises there wasn't going to be an advantage there. It's actually going the way of Lauderdale. So Jeremiah Perkins with the ball at half back.
He switches it over to Siggins. He takes a mark, immediately kicks that one up the line. Doesn't fall to anyone in particular. Was looking for Kalkowski, but North Hobart get it through number 20 in Baxter Norton. He gets a handball away. Ground ball here. Immediately set upon the North Hobart midfielder, and the umpire's called holding the ball. Reece Sutton has pinged a free kick out of that one. He gives off immediately to Siggins again. Siggins drives high inside 50. Hands go up. No one brings a mark down though. Pack forms. Sandrick gets that one out. Quick handball. Gives it to Williams Jr. He kicks outside 50. Looks like it might go out of play. It has. So good signs early, but it looks like it might be a free kick to Siggins there. Could have been a hold, I think.
Yeah, free kick to Siggins against Nathan Hardy. So Lauderdale looking to go forward once again. Siggins drives the ball forward as we just wait to see where that one has gone. He's just pumped the ball inside 50. Plenty of players around this football. North Hobart, they're going to be the ones doing the repelling as they drive the ball towards the wing. Tied up against the boundary was Will Francis. His dribbling kick down the line rolls out of bounds. So, I mean, it hasn't been champagne football early, Ryan, but there seems to be a fair bit of heat in this contest and two teams that at the moment look to be really well matched.
I definitely know there's a lot to play for today, and I feel like that would have been the message from both Darren Winter and Bear Robinson pre-game. That was, if we can get a good start, that's going to give us a really good shot at running away with this contest. As the ball comes back into play now, Allen wins that one down against Surveyor. Handball out from Lauderdale, gets it to Siggins. He goes out. Kick inside 50 now. Mark's almost taken there by the North Hobart defender. Ball comes to ground though. They get it back. Could have been a hold there, but umpire calls play on as Nelson's got it, but whistle's been blown. I think he might have pulled it back for that hold there on number 24 in Sam Collins, and he has. As Collins comes out, he's going to switch it wide. He's got a man out there free, number 30 in Finlay Poke. He gets it, immediately plays on. Comes up the wing, takes a bounce, a bit of pressure now, but he gets his kick away. Ball bounces inside 50. DeBoz's there. Really good pick up from the big man at the ground ball, but he's immediately set upon by two Lauderdale defenders, and it looks like the ball's just bounced out of play inside 50.
So please, for deliberate from the Lauderdale players, go unrewarded.
It's looking dangerous early, DeBoz, isn't he? You can tell he's got a fair bit of talent.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of experience as well. Looking to really lead the way for this fairly young North Hobart side, it must be said. So the boundary throw in, attacking 50. Interesting to see Fisher and McGuinness running with each other at the moment. As Havea wins that ball down, McManus in pursuit for Lauderdale, perhaps taken high from Sandrick. The umpire agrees. So McManus, he'll bring the ball back out of defensive 50, a real stalwart of this club. Coach of the TSLW team last year as well. Pumps the ball out wide to Alex Heavey, another veteran. Heavey and McManus, two long-standing names at the Lauderdale Football Club. Heavey kicks the ball down the wing. Target was there, unable to complete the mark. Kilpatrick dishes the handball off as North Hobart go to the races once again. Inside 50, good positioning. Jeremiah Perkins unable to take the mark. DeBoz had a hurry kick, smothered just as it left the boot as Havea comes back for reinforcement as Reece Sutton, drives the ball down the wing to Bryce Walsh. As Lauderdale just reset. Reece Sutton, he owns this wing at Skybus Oval as he takes the ball once again. Handball inside, going the way of Phil Bellchambers, milestone man from last week. Driving the ball inside 50. Williams has a bit of a job to do at the moment. Adrian Kalkowski swoops on the loose football and kicks a goal. Kalkowski has his second. Lauderdale have 2. They lead 2-1-13 to North Hobart. One straight kick. There was plenty of work to do there for the North Hobart defence, and Kalkowski, in the end, was able to create the error and swoop on the loose footy.
I think that was, I think the message from the bench there from Darren Winter will be out to Reece Sutton. He was all over that play. Obviously got the ball deep in that back 50. Had a bit of run there, gave it out to Walsh, and then Walsh gave it back to him. He's really a guy, as you said, Aussie, that owns that far wing at Skybus Oval. And along with guys like Heavey and McManus, probably doesn't get the praises that other guys like Walsh and Siggins get.
Yep.
But they're obviously really important cogs in this Lauderdale midfield engine.
I'll call that the Reece Sutton wing when his time's done at Lauderdale, I would have thought. Back in the middle, Havea wins the ball down. Lauderdale drive the ball forward once again, this time through Oakes. Pack forms. Reinforcements are there for North Hobart, but they're not out at the moment as Luke Nelson outside the boot into the goal square. Lauderdale are really putting the pressure on. Williams.
Whistle's blown.
Breathes a sigh of relief. I think it's going to be a free kick going the way of North Hobart. Some really nervous moments there for the Demon defence.
As you said, I was a fair bit of pressure in this forward 50 for the that Lauderdale are putting on North Hobart, and I'm sure that the Lauderdale coaching staff will be incredibly happy with that as the ball's come back out now. Short kick there, but it's cut off by Bryce Walsh. Ball goes to ground, gets back to Walsh. He kicks inside 50. Hold on there, and I think the whistle has blown for that hold, and it has. It's a free kick now to, bear with me, number 26 in Tyler Martin. Getting the free kick there with a clear hold off the ball from the North Hobart defence. And as we said, that'd all be mindset after all that pressure in the opening. In the last probably 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah, and Lauderdale keen to move the ball quickly. That's been caught them out the back a couple of times already. So big moment here for Tyler Martin.
Tyler Martin comes in, works his approach out well. Looks good off the boot. Looks really good off the boot, and the Bombers have their third of the game.
You can hear the chorus of car horns down at Skybus Oval. Tyler Martin, he kicks his first. Lauderdale 3-1-19. The Demons 1 straight 6. Last couple of minutes have been dominated by the Southern Bombers after North Hobart probably had the better of general play for the first couple of minutes of this game. But Tyler Martin, just another one of those hybrid sort of forwards. You can't really play a small defender on him, but he's not a big Julian DeBoz figure either. He's just a mid-sized forward. He came in for a couple of key finals last year, and that'll do his confidence the world of good.
Got a fair bit of leg pace for a medium-sized forward, and he creates a fair bit of danger for the defenders. As the ball goes back up, no one really wins that one down. Immediately tackled the North Hobart player in Caswell. Ball comes out now. Number 22 in Fisher, I think that was. Kicks it inside. Doesn't go inside 50, just bounces out. My apologies there. Nathan Hardy there picks that one up, but he's immediately tackled. Ball's on the ground. Looks like Dees could get it out here, but really good defensive pressure there from the Bombers. And the whistle's blown for a ball up.
It ended up being about a 1-on-4 there for Michael Fisher, who did well just to hold things up. Just gives Hayden Smith a couple of things to think about.
Always a guy that if there's a pack about, Hayden Smith's definitely going to throw a few players off.
So Smith and Allen compete once again. Allen just slaps it down. Players everywhere as North Hobart drive the ball inside 50 through Hugh Williams. DeBoz is the target. And it looks like it's going to be a free kick, but it's going to go the way of Will Poland. Julian DeBoz was about to pick up the footy and just help himself to a shot on goal, but holding free kick to the 2019 Matthew Richardson medalist in Will Poland. We drive the ball out of defensive 50. I'm fascinated by that matchup throughout today. A strong mark taken. Excellent grab. Number 19, Will Pepin. Explosive player as he just wheels and goes. It's like to think it's in the DeBoz direction again, but in the end, uncontested mark taken by Jeremiah Perkins.
It's been good early, Perkins.
He's running with a very slick haircut this year, Ryan. He used to have the long flowing locks off and up in a little man bun, but he drives the ball out of defensive 50. Nathan McCulloch almost takes the mark. McManus is there for company, as is Sam Collins from the North Hobart perspective. McManus swoops back on the loose ball. In the end, the ball's just slapped out of the pack as North Hobart try and reel this ball back in. Luke Nelson with some strong Matthew Rowell vibes, tucked in jumper at 8. Ball inside the centre of the ground. Callum Kilpatrick's the only man. Oysters Kilpatrick goes to Williams. Williams out to Sam Collins, who just stops, props, and drives the ball out wide to his Devils teammate in Jai Menzies.
Jai Menzies got it now. Just slows the play up after that. He kicks along that wing on the far side of the ground. DeBoz is there, can't take the mark. Good defence work by Poland, but DeBoz again really good below his knees. But that ball's gone out of play. It looks like Sam Siggins is going to be the beneficiary.
So clean beneath his knees, DeBoz. He's
for a big man.
An aerial target, but also really going to compete at ground level, which is exactly what Bear Robinson would be wanting from him. And you'd expect nothing less with the amount of his experience and talent. Siggins
comes back in now. Massive boot along that wing. No one takes a grab though. North Hobart immediately get that ground ball, but he's set upon by Sam Burge and Alex Heavey. There are easy two to mix up, aren't they, Aussie? Sam Burge and Bryce Walsh.
They certainly are. As Kilpatrick just dishes the handball. Thought he might get the 1-2 back, but Sandrick says, no, I'll drive this ball inside 50 myself. In the hot spot, DeBoz! Second grab, the pack formed. North Hobart in a dangerous position now. The Lauderdale players saying that there may have been an extra couple of fingernails on that football, but DeBoz decisively takes the mark, and he's going to have a look at goal. He's already kicked one today as DeBoz kicked the opening goal of this contest. A stalwart of football in Tasmania before moving over to Victoria. As we mentioned pre-game, be back in the North Hobart colours for the first time, previously a Hobart City Demons TSL player. So he takes a strong mark and begins his approach now. A nice clean runner goal. On the way, he immediately says, follow me, boys, does Julian DeBoz. He's got two. He's got both of North Hobart's goals so far this match. So the Demons, they go to 12, Lauderdale 19. We've played 18 minutes in this opening quarter, and that's exactly the goal that North Hobart needed after Lauderdale had really, I suppose particularly on the scoreboard, but they'd really dominated the middle period of this quarter.
They had, yeah. And he probably owed him one there, DeBoz. He kicked, as you said, he kicked that first goal, and then he gave that free kick away on the half-forward flank against Walsh. So I'm sure that Bear Robinson will be happy with his repeat effort there, and he definitely owed his team one in his first game back, and he's made up for that mistake. As the ball goes back up now, no one really wins that down. A bit of an even ruck tap there. Ball comes down. Bell Chambers on the bottom of that pack. Kowkowski's there. He's been lively early, Kowkowski. Nelson's there too. As you said, I was running with a Matt Rao today with a tucked-in jumper.
No, I'm all about it. All about it, Ryan.
If you're watching Matt Rao, you've shown a bit of inspiration to players in here in the TSL. As Sam Siggins getting a fair bit of attention there, and it looks like he might have given a free kick away there to number 21 and Andrew Palmer. Could have a run with roll today on Siggins.
We're back into the side today, Palmer. It's North Hobart look to bring the ball up the ground. Michael Fisher drives the ball inside 50. We're getting towards the dying stages of this quarter, but dangerous moments here for Lauderdale. A strong tackle Wade on Kilpatrick. Excellent work from Nick Baker. So we'll have a stoppage just outside attacking 50.
It's a really solid cog in that defensive unit, Nick Baker.
He's a versatile player too. Certainly a talent. Allen and Smith, as Heavey just kicks the ball on the ground, doesn't really gain as many metres as he perhaps thought, as Walsh quickly kicks the ball down the line. North Hobart swooping on this loose football through Baxter Norton, another player with VFL experience. He dishes the handball back to his captain in McCulloch, who goes further wide as North Hobart look to reload through Poke, but he's under the pump. Reece Sutton works him off the football. Dinky little kick inside 50. Classy stuff from Reece Sutton. Finds the target.
Kowkowski again.
It's Kowkowski again. He's already got two. Now he's going to have a realistic shot at his third goal of the afternoon. He has been an excellent inclusion for Lauderdale this year. Used to play his football at Vermont and then was in Collingwood's VFL list before the COVID situation struck. So Kowkowski already has 2 goals to his name. Number 9 for the Lauderdale Bombers. Begins his pursuit now. Ball is on the way. It's coming back. He likes it straight away. Tutai Havea on the goal line. Just helps the goal umpire with the decision, and that is an excellent goal from Adrian Kowkowski. He's got 3. Lauderdale, they kick again. So 4-1 at 25. Plays the Demons 2 straight 12. 21 and a half minutes gone in the opening 10.
Seems to be, he's played a lot of his footy this year coming into this lineup, Kowkowski, as a midfielder, but it seems to be today he's playing generally as a forward, which is adding a string to his bow, and as we said, he's kicked 3 goals early, probably along with Reece Sutton's been the 2 lively players for this Bombers lineup, and if he can get forward and kick some goals, Kowkowski, it's going to definitely put some worrying signs on Bear Robinson.
Certainly will. So 13 points adrift now, North Hobart. That last goal from DeBoz has been cancelled out immediately. Back in the middle, Allen and Smith. Allen wins the ball down only as far as Phil Bellchambers, who just strides his way through the centre of the ground, drives the ball in long, looking for a target, but an uncontested mark taken by Bailey Walker.
Bailey Walker, really improving player in this North Hobart lineup. Usually takes the best defender as he handballs off to the running player in, looks like it might be Williams there. Might have been dealt with afterwards by the big man in Havea, and he's down. I think it's a free kick. It is. Sorry, it wasn't Williams. It was number 24 in Sam Collins who got that late hit from the big man in Havea, and the siren's blown. And we are Lauderdale 4-1-25 leading the match against North Hobart 2 straight 12.
Interesting quarter of footy there, wasn't it, Ryan? North Hobart off to the quick start through DeBoz, and so we quickly, just having a look here at the goal kickers, Kalkowski has 3 for Lauderdale, Tyler Martin with 1, DeBoz with 2 for North Hobart, but DeBoz opening goal was then really met with the period of Lauderdale dominance. When DeBoz kicked his second goal just a few moments ago, you thought, okay, North Hobart back in this contest, just as a few little
looks like it might be a bit early.
happening.
It's actually about the sales here. There's a bit of spite early in this contest at the opening bounce, and it looks like that's boiled over. And it's probably off that Havea hit. It was pretty late on Sam Collins deep in that defensive 50. Didn't really catch it on the monitor, but looks like the North Hobart boys aren't a fan of it at all. And umpires are looking to, as we said, they can't really do much here as the siren's blown. Whistles are blowing, but it's going to be up to the mature heads of each side to just separate. Say, boys, let's go in, reset. This is a major game. We can't afford any silly errors, any silly reports.
Yeah, it looks like it's mostly calmed down now, but yeah, plenty to look forward to in this game, I reckon, Ryan. The midfield battle's been fascinating. There's key matchups across the park. DeBoz and Poland has been really interesting, I think, down the other end. How North Hobart can negate the likes of Nelson and Kalkowski when they're pushing forward is really interesting as well. So 4-1-25, the Southern Bombers, North Hobart 2 straight 12. Really interesting game of football underway at Skybus Oval. We can just see the umpires having a chat as they try and work out how they can just keep control of this contest.
Best in the state there, Nathan Geeson, so he'll no doubt sort the players out.
Yeah, he's probably got the best facial hair of any umpire in the TSL as well, I would have thought. Sam Bridges might be affronted that I've said that, but
not sure Bev will get around it. He might steer clear of that one.
Geeson, certainly a good umpire. They've got plenty of good talent running around in the TSL at the moment. So quarter time, Lauderdale 4-1-25, North Hobart 2 straight 12. We'll take a short break and bring the second quarter action to you shortly.
Not that one.
Umpire just in the middle of the ground. Lauderdale coach Darren Windsor continuing to address his troops at the moment. His side 13 points the better at the first break. Lauderdale 4-1-25, North Hobart 2 straight 12. Kalkowski with 3 goals for Lauderdale, Tyler Martin with 1. Julian DeBoz with 2 goals in his return game for North Hobart. It's be really nice sunny day, it must be said, down at Lauderdale. You can see a few patches of the ground where it's a little bit muddy, but for the most part, for a a game at Skybus Oval. I think both teams would be pretty happy with the conditions, right?
Yeah, really good first quarter there of TSL footy, Aussie. And a guy I want to speak about, I thought he had a really good first quarter there, was Reece Sutton. And we spoke about him a lot in that first quarter along that Reece Sutton wingers we've called it today. But I think he set up 2 of Kowalski's goals, and he'd definitely be one that would be getting a fair bit of positive encouragement from Darren Winter, no doubt.
Yeah, no, he's just touched on it a little bit. I think he's one of those players that when you do think of Lauderdale, you immediately think of the McGuinnesses, the Walshes of the world, Siggins, Hayden Smith. But I think Sutton is an integral member of that side and has been a really crucial part of the team that's gone to the grand final 3 years in a row. And I know this Lauderdale team is quite different again this year, but Reece Sutton's role is still so well defined. And as you said before, played a crucial role in helping the Bombers hit the scoreboard. Luke Nelson, I'm really intrigued to see the role he plays today. He's kind of been a little bit midfield, a little bit half forward with the experience he's got behind him. Obviously, with Richmond's VFL list this year before coronavirus struck, he's a really cool head and the sort of player that I think against perhaps some inexperienced opposition in North Hobart, he'd be someone that Bear Robinson would be really keen to clamp down on.
He's a guy that played predominantly forward last week against the Tigers, kicked 3 goals all in the first quarter, but he was lively all game. And as we said, obviously you throw guys like Luke Nelson, Kowalski, Nathan Oakes, who had a really good game last week from the VFL where he had 17 touches, 6 clearances. So you throw guys of that calibre into a team that's already made 3 back-to-back grand finals. And, I feel like Lauderdale probably haven't hit their straps just yet. I feel like last week was a good first step to that, but I feel like they're probably an even better side this year when you add blokes of that calibre into it.
Yeah, obviously a few players who aren't there. The likes of Thor Boscott going to the SFL, McGuinness, Gilby, a number of players that aren't there. But I think when you've been so close for so many years, to see different players in, for a Lauderdale fan, is probably a really exciting prospect.
Freshens up the list too, I'd feel like.
Yeah, Tutai Havea back in. He's the leading goal kicker for them this year with 8. He's equal third in the competition. He's looking again to play a fair bit of his football up the ground, really supporting Hayden Smith in the ruck.
Played a bit in the ruck, last week. So he's obviously a guy that can give Hayden Smith a good spell in that engine room. And
a former Matthew Richardson medalist as well, Tutai Havea. So there's plenty of talent on the park here today. Lauderdale, they're leading the Demons by 13 points at quarter time. So we go back into the middle of the ground. The umpire just waiting for players to get back into their positions. It's going to be Allen and Smith going head-to-head again. You can just see Hamish Allen just looks more and more like a footballer every time I see him play. Him and Jake Steele, tall timber for North Hobart. A big test for Allen today, though, up against Hayden Smith. This umpire just clears the area. We're back underway. Second quarter action. Lauderdale and North Hobart at Skybus Oval as the ball is thrown in the air. Hayden Smith wins the ball down as far as his teammate in Oakes, who immediately finds Reece Sutton. Sutton just drives the ball inside 50 with a high up and under. It's going to be a foot race at the back as Bailey Walker runs into Phil Bellchambers. Players all converge on the football and will have a stoppage. Can just see a bit of a muddy area on the ground as well, Ryan. So stoppage early. Lauderdale continuing how they left off that first quarter, driving the ball forward. As Havea
going in the ruck now. Umpire just calls him back, throws it up now. Ball falls to ground. So hold on there. Which way's he going to go? Looks like it's Allen's way. The more experienced ruckman of the two. Allen comes wide now. He kicks out to number 13 in Sean Willis, the former Tasmanian cricketer. He comes along this commentary side wing. Really good punch there by the Lauderdale defender. Let's DeBoz know about it to number 17 in Nick Baker. As the ball's going out of play now, and that'd be a good sign early from Nick Baker if he does indeed have the job on DeBoz this quarter. Might be a changing matchup there.
Certainly was. I think Nick Baker probably would have been a junior at Hobart City when DeBoz was last there, so might have been a mentor for him when he was younger. The ball's one down. Sandrick beset upon in the tackle. Hayden Smith sweeps on the loose ball, finds Siggins, stops and props. Oakes goes out wide. He's got his teammate there in Bryce Walsh. Loopy handball over the top to Sutton, who again just continues to drive the ball through hands. Tyler Martin wrapped up in a tackle. A good tackle laid. The umpire's got a decision to make. In the end, he'll bring it back himself. So some good tackle pressure there from North Hobart. Tyler McGuinness heavily involved. Have another stoppage as Allen and Smith go toe-to-toe.
Smith wins that one down. Gets it straight out to Kowalski, the man that kicked 3 in the first quarter. Tries to keep that one in, but he can't. And the ball's gone out of play. It's going to be a Jack Sandrick free kick deep in the back 50. So he handballs across to Bailey Walker. Gives it off to Williams Jr. He gets it back. Sorry, that was number 18 in Tyler McGuinness. And there's been a turnover. Looks like there's a goal there to the Bombers. Not sure who kicked it. But there's a bit of remonstration there. It could be a free kick to Bell Chambers. Just not overly intelligent there from the North Hobart player in Tyler McGuinness. He's obviously the guy that gave that turnover. So he's probably just a bit disappointed with himself and he's let his frustrations boil over there.
Yeah, some real discipline creeping in there, and Lauderdale are going to have a free kick.
I'm not sure who kicked that goal.
No, it's exactly the start that the Bombers would have wanted out of the quarter, though. So just as the players are all a little bit confused as to where this ball is going to go.
I thought it might have been a free kick directly in front of goal, but...
So it looks like it's actually gone back the way of North Hobart. So Allen found Kilpatrick, who drives the ball to half forward. Confusion everywhere as Paddy Walker drives the ball inside 50 for the Demons. Can they respond quickly? In the DeBoz direction. Second clunk. Too big, too strong for Will Poland.
Wow. He's very dangerous, man. Obviously, we spoke about the losses of a lot of these key players in Darley and Garland last year, but when you take out a guy of Colin Garland's calibre, and then you throw in a guy of Julian DeBoz's calibre. Obviously, DeBoz hasn't made it that AFL level like Garland, but he's played a lot of high calibre football across in Victoria. So when you throw a guy like that deep forward for the Demons, it's very dangerous.
He's already got 2 to his name in his first game back in the red and the blue. Julian DeBoz, another strong mark inside 50 as he begins his approach to goal now. Slight angle, ball's on the way, never really looked like it, always floating wide. The mark's taken in the defensive pocket. Looks like from Oscar Shaw.
Didn't look as straight on his run up there, did he? As the last couple of goals he's kicked.
Yeah, it was always a tough spot to kick goals from, but he'd be probably disappointed with that effort as Lauderdale looked to bring the ball out, but Sam Collins takes a strong contested grab. He's going to bring this ball back with interest as he just pumps the ball long to the top of the goal square. Pack forms to Boz. He's coming from behind, almost takes the grab. Lauderdale under the pump at the moment. Caswell's involved, but Lauderdale with the numbers on the defensive side of the stoppage. They bring the ball out to half back. But I tell you what, Lauderdale is still under the pump at the moment. A web of handballs might get them out of trouble, though. Holding the football, Tyler Martin. Paddy Walker.
Great tackle.
Just crept up on him. An excellent tackle just as he was about to dispose of the footy.
Like a librarian.
Exactly right. Thank you, Dennis. So North Hobart, Paddy Walker's called to play on. He just props the ball up to about 30 metres out from goal. Strong mark taken. Nick Baker takes the grab over Jacob Steele's shoulder. He goes out wide to Bell Chambers, and the Bombers try to bring the ball out of defence.
I think there's a whistle blown there. Might have been a 50-metre penalty against Jacob Steele, potentially. As Baker's got it in the middle of the ground. He bombs that inside 50, goes deep. Havea's there, can't take the mark. Ball trickles over the back. Looks like it might close to that line. Doesn't go out. Nelson's there. He's got it set upon by a lot of defenders. Ball goes out to Dees, look to get this over the line. It doesn't. Kowalski's there. Gives a quick handball off to Oakes. He gets the ball smothered. A lot of players around this ball. Dees looking for the line. They might have just got it there. They haven't. Ball stays in play. Walsh gets it. Quick handball to Siggins. Back to Walsh. Walsh kicks long. Looks for the goals. Looks for the goals. He's found them. Bryce Walsh, the skipper, has kicked the Bombers 6.
That's an excellent goal from Bryce Walsh. Just little 1-2 with Sammy Siggins. Walsh got himself into a position and from a pretty difficult spot, it must be said, just drove the ball towards goal. An excellent finish from Walsh. And North Hobart had the opportunity at the other end of some excellent defensive efforts in their attacking 50 from North Hobart, but Lauderdale in the end able to get it out. The 50-metre penalty just...
What cost them in the end?
Yeah, it took a lot of pressure off, and in the end, Lauderdale hit the scoreboard. So 37 plays at 12. Some serious questions now being asked of North Hobart. It's all been Lauderdale on the scoreboard this quarter. So we're back in the middle. How can the Demons respond? It looks like, again, a bit of a query. It might be an extra player. No, just making sure that everyone knew where they were going. It was umpire Gayson. So Hayden Smith keeps asking the question, but we're back in the middle anyway. Confusion. Been a confusing couple of minutes, must be said, Ryan, as Smith wins the ball down only as far as Caswell. North Hobart trying to bring the ball forward. A kick was interrupted as Oakes just shows some strength and gets the handball out wide to Bell Chambers. He dishes the ball in the Raglione direction. Bell Chambers just goes in and wins his own football once again. Paddy Walker, clean beneath his knees. Little dinky kick to half forward. Strong grab taken by Tom Reeves, who immediately just dances around, breaks the ankles of his opponent. A shot on goal on the way for North Hobart. It's going to fall short and roll out of bounds for a throw in. John Menzies unable to keep it in. So a ball in, dangerous position. Some slick work there from Tom Reeves, just breaking the ankles of his opponent. So, dangerous spot now in front of the canteen at Skybus Oval.
Really good play there from Paddy Walker, obviously, as we spoke about pre-game. Just littered with devils, this North Hobart outfit. As the ball comes back into play, Hardy wins a tap down. Ball comes to ground. No one gets clean possession other than Siggins, so he gets a quick handball out. Bombers get it, immediately set upon by number 13 in Sean Willis. Really good tackle across the line. It's going to be a throw in.
Yeah, excellent tackle from Sean Willis. He's been
full pressure.
He's been a handy player whenever he has played football. Obviously, one of those athletes is probably good at anything he puts his hand to, I reckon, Ryan, as the ball comes back into play. Siggins competing in the ruck against Hardy. McManus links up with Perkins as they just try and gain some meterage. North Hobart with the numbers. Menzie just flew over the top as Oakes slammed him into the deck.
Huge
Perkins,
tackle.
quick kick out of defensive 50. But North Hobart have some numbers. Going backwards to Williams, who's almost laid in a tackle from Sutton. His kick, in the end, finds his namesake and Williams out wide, who then dishes the ball off to Kilpatrick. Up to half forward. Hardy was the target. I think this ball probably run over the line. No, it won't. Caswell.
Yeah, it has.
Has now as Baker tackles Caswell over the line. So North Hobart getting a couple of forays, but just unable to capitalise at the moment.
Really good defensive work in this opening 8 minutes from the Bombers. As we see Allen and Smith going to contest this throw in. Umpire Bevis brings this one back into play. Smith wins that one down, man in front. Kick off the ground there from North Hobart. Ball goes deep inside 50. No clean possession though. Pack forms on top of that ball and the whistle's blown for another throw up. As we said, a good little crowd here at Skybus Oval. Obviously COVID restrictions limiting the amount of people we can have at TSL games, but wherever you're watching, either at the ground or on the live stream, we appreciate tuning in as the ball comes back in. Pick up there by Paddy Walker. Quick handball out. Looks good off the boot, and it's just missed to the far side. First behind of the day for the Demons.
Sean Willis just starting to get himself involved in this game of football, Ryan. That shot on goal was from Willis after some slick work from Paddy Walker beneath his knees as Bombers bring the ball out through Poland. Sam Burge locked in a duel with Norton, but Norton just deals with him in the end. And it looks like it's going to be a 50-metre penalty. Encroaching on the mark there was number 16.
Nathan Oakes.
Nathan Oakes. So that's a big let-off for North Hobart. Baxter Norton, after taking a strong grab about 60 metres out from goal, is now going to be kicking. From about 20 metres out, the umpire just making sure he's in line. Slight angle, but pretty good position to be in if you're Baxter Norton at the moment.
One of these young North Hobart guns.
Played a bit of VFL footy over at Werribee as well. So Baxter Norton begins his approach now. Nick Baker on the mark. This for North Hobart's first goal of the second quarter. Kick on the way. Was never going to miss from there was Baxter Norton. Classy finish from him. A bit of ill discipline from the Southern Bombers. North Hobart have their third. They're 3-1-19. Lauderdale out to 37, 6-1, 37. 10.5 gone, second quarter. Ryan Rosendale.
As you said, Baxter Norton's another guy that's come back to the TSL from the VFL. He had a really good game last week against Clarence in that disappointing loss. He had 29 disposals, 7 clearances, and he's averaged 20.2 disposals. He's sitting number 9th in the comp in the TSL. So bring that kind of calibre back to the TSL. He's only lifting the standard, and he's having a very good season on his return to the Demons.
Yeah, quick shout out to Premier Data as well. 125 ranking points for Baxter Norton last week. It's everyone's now accountable, aren't they?
Loving the stats as the ball comes back into play. Throw up there by the umpire. Ground ball. Tackle there immediately. Bryce Walsh gets it. Immediately set upon by Sandrick. Looks like it might have been a push in the back. It has. And that was a matchup we spoke about pre-game. Might be one. And it looks like it has. He goes out to Bell Chambers, does Walsh. He kicks long inside 50 to the goal line. Looks like it might be a mark there, but it's gone over the line. Thought he might have taken that one.
Yeah, it was a long kick from Phil Bell Chambers. Key cog in this Lauderdale midfield. So Tyler McGuinness to bring the ball back into play. In the long sleeves, McGuinness drives the ball out to half back. Target was Allen, unable to reel the mark in, but a couple of players are there as they just gain some meterage. Almost a rugby scrum forming at the moment. That ball just rolls out of bounds. So they have a throw in. Umpire's whistle again. Just lots of ill discipline creeping into this game, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Lauderdale. North Hobart not happy about that decision at all. So Hayden Smith, he's got the ball at half forward for the Bombers. He's just going to pump the ball long to a dangerous spot. It's exactly what he does. A pack forms. Mark almost taken there from his teammate in Harry Richmond. Unable to reel the mark in. So we have another stoppage at ground level.
You said I was obviously it was a fair bit of spot early, and then obviously a board over at quarter time, and again it's just fuel discipline acts from a few players are costing their team here.
I think that may have even just been something that was said that might have caused that, but this is a dangerous position at the moment as Burge collides. That is a nasty incident. Sam Burge running back with the flight.
Both players really going for the ball there. No ill intent in that one, I don't believe.
I think it might be Bailey Walker.
As you can see, Sam Burge is showing a fair bit of concern for Bailey Walker.
Actually, it might not be Bailey. My apologies. Just waiting to say the player's just being looked at. Actually, I think, it is Bailey Walker at ground level. So Walker and Burge that was just a football incident, wasn't it? 2 players going hard at the footy, and within the frame, we actually didn't see Walker coming the other way. Burge just running back with the flight. And that's a concerning scene at the moment. The 2 trainers with him at this stage.
Nothing balls over. Obviously, we get the North Hobart players will be pretty frustrated for their teammate, but as we said, there was no ill malice in that one. Obviously, both players, Burge and Walker, both going for the ball. And as you said, Walker came in off camera, and both players just probably going at 100 mile an hour, and when you have 2 players going for the ball at that speed, it just sometimes bad things are bound to happen.
And in that instance, Sam Burge, I think he's very much a see ball, get ball footballer.
100%.
And he's always going to go full tilt. Bailey Walker, very similar. He's a brave young player, and it's good to see that he's just getting back onto his haunches at the moment. He's obviously going to be assisted from the ground, and I guess, obviously, Bailey Walker's health and well-being.
You could see Sam Burge's concern for Walker. Obviously, went over and gave him the tap on the back.
No, exactly right. I mean, in Bailey Walker's health and well-being is obviously the most important thing at this stage. In the context, I should say, of this game, that's also a huge loss for the Demons. He's a rock down in defence for North Hobart. He's assisted from the field, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of Lauderdale by the looks of it here.
Not sure if either player took the mark or it was a free kick, but as you said, it looks like it will be a free kick.
It's going to be taken by Nelson. Worrying signs for Bailey Walker. All of our wishes go to him. Keep our eyes on that as it unfolds this afternoon. But back in play, Luke Nelson having a shot on goal. Tight up in the pocket. Begins his approach now. Does Nelson. The ball's on the way. Never going to miss from there was Luke Nelson. He kicks a goal for Lauderdale. His first of the afternoon. The Bombers, they skip away, 7-2-44, North Hobart 3-1-19. Again, a fair bit of confusion with lots of things happening out of frame there as well, but Luke Nelson had his opportunity and he takes it.
Not a great few minutes there for the D's, obviously with the loss of Bailey Walker in that clash. We do hope Bailey recovers well, and then obviously the goal there to Luke Nelson off the free kick. So our thoughts are with Bailey Walker there. Hopefully he gets some attention and we can see him again in this game, but it was a nasty clash, so we wouldn't be surprised if his day is done. As the ball comes back into play, we've just ticked over into time on now into this second quarter. 15 and a half minutes gone. Umpire throws the ball up. Smith goes unopposed in that one, but Allen wins the ball down. Sandrick's there. Immediately sets upon Walsh, but he gets a handball out. Kwiatkowski's there. He takes the advantage. Ball inside 50 for the Bombers. Luke Nelson's there again. He just kicked the goal, but ball stays in play. Harry Richmond gets that one out. Kick on the line. Almost through for the Bombers, but it's just gone through for the one behind.
So Lauderdale owning much of this second quarter, it must be said. 7-3-45 plays North Hobart 3-1-19. So the Demons, they just need a reset at the moment. A live score from the AFL, Port Adelaide 45, leading the Swans 19 deep into the second quarter. As North Hobart bring the ball back into play. Baxter Norton, a driving kick.
A free kick there.
It's going to be a free kick.
It looked like he would have been dealt with after the play there. Didn't catch it on the camera, but definitely heard that whistle from the umpire.
This will be taken downfield. North Hobart look to bring the ball down the wing. Another pack forms. Hardy at the back. Takes it on the second clunk. Really good work from Nathan Hardy. He's provided a tall target for the Demons this year after a stint in the Old Scholars. He just chips the ball over the top. Finds Callum Kilpatrick. Another one of those improving North Hobart players. He starred in the under-25s game last year. He just runs around Sam Siggins. and drives the ball with his left boot inside 50. DeBoz direction, unable to take the mark. He was out the back. A hurried kick is on the way to goal. Dribbling, Lauderdale through Raglione. Avoid a score North Hobart's way as Raglione's kick, tied up against the boundary line, rolls out of bounds for a throw-in.
Going to dribble through that one, Oz, but as you said, Raglione was there and he was the goalkeeper, as we usually say in those instances, and mopping up that defensive ball. As the ball's on the commentary side of Skybus Oval now, umpire's just about to throw this one back into play. He does so. Ball goes in. Smith wins that one down, man in front again. Oakes is there, gets the ball, quick handball off to Walsh. He brings it back inside to that man in Siggins, just with the shrug. He gives to Heavey. Heavey kicks back inside to Bell Chambers. Can't take the mark, but it's a one-handed pick up by Sam Burge. He goes out to Oakes again. Downfield's a call from a few players. Umpire doesn't agree. Play on. Trip there by the North Hobart player, and he's in all sorts of trouble. As he gets a kick out there, he actually works that one out well after his little trip, but the ball's gone out of play for a boundary throw-in.
I thought Tom Reeves just shaking off a bit of a sore spot on his arm, but I love that bit of play from between Oscar Shaw and Jai Menzies. They were Devils teammates last year, and I think they would have enjoyed going toe-to-toe. Back in play, Smith, I should say, wins the ball down to Siggins, who finds Bell Chambers. Dinky kick down the line. It's going to be in the Tyler Martin direction, but rolls out of bounds in front of the North Hobart interchange gate.
18 minutes gone, Oz. Where do you feel like North Hobart are able to get back into this contest?
Yeah, well, I think for the most part, it's probably been around the stoppages that Lauderdale have been able to get their first hands on the football. The likes of Siggins really stepping up and then being able to drive the ball forward. I think North Hobart's intent has been pretty good for the most part, but perhaps the bigger bodies of Lauderdale wreaking a bit of havoc as Havea wins that ball down and robes his own footy. In the end, Sandrick wrapped up in a tackle. So, yeah, it's going to be a big second half. I'm curious to see whether they do try and make any positional changes from a North Hobart perspective. Ball goes back out. Allen and Havea. Umpire's whistle yet again. It's going to go the way of North Hobart. So Hamish Allen has a runner in Pepin. He's a quick footballer as well, Pepin. Drives the ball down the wing. Bit of a floater, but the mark's taken by Nathan Hardy.
And a really good inclusion into this lineup since coming in round two. Hardy. He goes inside 50. Mark's taken there by the Lauderdale defender. Number 20 in Nick Raglione. He looks to set up now. He's had a good few minutes, Raglione. As we just said, he stopped that goal before. Raglione, he drives up the bench side of the wing. But the mark's taken there by the former skipper in Williams. He brings it inside to Baxter Norton. He's kicked a goal in this second quarter as Norton. He drives that ball just inside 50. Gets in there, but it comes straight back out. Willis was the man he was looking for, but Walsh gets there. He's immediately tackled over the line. Really good forward pressure there by the big man and Nathan Hardy, and the ball's out of play.
Yeah, you like to see that from your big key forwards, tackling the midfielders. Good work there from Hardy. So, dangerous spot on the ground. Just in front, you can see quite a few of the Lauderdale faithful up in the rooms. Ball back into play. Hardy and Havea go to battle. Havea decisively wins it down, but North Hobart with the numbers at the back of the stoppage. Umpire's whistle dealt with off the back of the play. It's going to be a free kick going the way of Palmer. So Baxter Norton just throws the ball back to Palmer. Drives the ball inside 50, a high football. Where is DeBoz? He's caught at the back, but Nathan Hardy in the end, the ball fell short, and he takes a comfortable mark. Will Poland unable to get a fist to the football, and 20 minutes gone into this opening half, in the second quarter, I should say, Ryan Rosendale. This is a big moment for Nathan Hardy and the Demons. 45-19. This could really arrest some of the momentum that Lauderdale have amassed in the second term.
Didn't get on the scoreboard last week, Oz, but he had 15 disposals against Clarence last week, so he was lively up forward, and as I said, he came in as a late inclusion in round two and kicked 3 goals as he comes in now looking for his first today. Slow approach from the big man, little skip there, kicks off the boot, doesn't trouble the goal umpire at all, but it's a great mark taken there by, it looks like it might have been Nick Baker.
It's been good today, Nick Baker.
He has been good. Takes a really good mark there. Didn't trouble the scorer at all there, Nathan Hardy. He comes out to the wing. Ball goes to ground. No one takes clean possession. McGuinness was there off the ground. Hugh Williams Jr.'s there. Could have been a big crash there, but both players are smart enough to work their way around it. Hugh Williams Sr. there gets immediately tackled by number 9 in Adrian Kowkowski. Kicked 3 goals in the first quarter to that man. Ball goes up, Havea. in the ruck there for the Bombers, giving Hayden Smith a spell. Sutton gets that one off the deck. He kicks inside 50, ground ball, no one takes it. Kick around the corner from Luke Nelson, and it's just missed.
That would have been a real stinger for North Hobart fans. Have a shot at goal at one end, and down the other end, Nelson almost kicking a goal, but just missed it. This ball back into play. Score update from the other game. Glenorchy, 66, playing Clarence, 36. So an interesting game unfolding at KG5. Back here at Skybus Oval. Nick Baker, I should say, there for Lauderdale. Robbie McManus as well, just trying to extract the ball from the stoppage. Umpire Chris Kay says, I'll have it. Just in front of a couple of the Lauderdale faithful. 22 and a half gone into the second quarter.
Can't be long left.
46-19.
Ball goes up. No one wins that one down, but it's one out of that pack. Allen gets it. Ground ball. Havea's on there. The big man gets it away. Gives it to Siggins. He goes backwards to Nick Baker. He has a bit of a run. Kicks inside. 50 doesn't quite make it, though. It's going to dribble out of play. Sutton's got it. And it's out of play just in front of the North Hobart bench.
So a bit of a stalemate the last couple of minutes, Ryan, just as we count down to half-time.
Like the D's would really want to go here just before the break, but I feel like there's not a lot of time left, so if they're going to get one, now's the time. As the ball comes back in, Smith again, man in front, wins that one down, follows up with the ground ball, gets that one out. Lauderdale kick inside 50. 3 defenders there for the D's, though, and they've worked that out well, and it's dribbled out of play again. Message from Bear Robinson at half-time was, what do you think that'd be?
Well, firstly, I'd say this reason I'm not a coach, Ryan. But no, I think he'd be just really hoping that, I think some moments of ill discipline have crept in for both teams, so obviously be trying to address that. I think the main thing would just be trying to clamp down around the stoppages, and then when they do drive the ball inside 50, perhaps lowering their eyes a little bit more. Sandrick goes out wide to Williams. Sam Collins links up as well. Hurried kick. It's going to be out of bounds on the full. Might have almost been kicking to Bear Robinson up in the coach's box. So the ball will be brought back in play from Francis. A high up and under ball inside 50, looking for a target. The pack forms, unable to take the mark, but Nelson's there at ground level. Just misses through for a minor score.
It's been dangerous in this second quarter, Luke Nelson. Hasn't hit the scoreboard, but...
He's kicked one, but yeah,
kicked one,
had a couple of other behinds as well. So Williams brings the ball back in. So an interesting couple of moments now for North Hobart. They just try and hold off. It's going to be a 50-metre penalty, so the umpire continually told, I think it might have been Bryce Walsh, to get back off the mark, and he didn't. You can just see Will Pepin, he's off to the races. He can sense an opportunity, dishes the ball up, receives it back from Sandrick, and all of a sudden North Hobart are at half forward. In pursuit is going to be McGuinness. A little pop the ball over the top to Collins. Couple of the half-backs combine. Collins, dinky ball inside. The two North Hobart players have just spoiled themselves in Steele and DeBoz. Lauderdale with the numbers as Bellchambers finds Bryce Walsh. And they kick up the line to Luke Nelson in the middle of the ground.
Luke Nelson's got it now. He kicks along that wing. Gives it out to the spare man there. He brings it back inside. Long kick inside 50. It's going to go right to the line. Harry Richmond's there. He gets it over the back and he kicks a goal. Not what you wanted if you're a North Hobart supporter.
It's gone from a great attacking opportunity to coast football from the Lauderdale Bombers, and Raglione, he can kick a long ball, and I thought he might have actually just had a shot himself, almost Noah Bolter-like from last night if you're a Richmond fan. But Harry Richmond in the end got himself into a good position and kicked the easiest of goals. And
we said it looked like after that 50-metre penalty that Bryce Walsh gave away, it looked like Will Pepin was, as you said, Aussie off to the races, and it looked like they might have just snagged a late one, the D's, but as you said, a bit of slingshot play there from the Bombers, and Richmond was the beneficiary over the back.
Having said that, love the attacking dare of North Hobart through the middle of the ground, and then Collins kicked back in ball. This is a really dangerous spot. Just two players who spoiled themselves.
Yeah, if it wasn't for the two players going for the ball, it might have been a mark to either one of them. This ball comes back in. Siggins off the ground, gives it up to the ruckman in Smith. He gives to McGuinness. He goes out to Sutton, but North Hobart spoiled that play. Really good there. Siggins is there, gets that ground ball out. McGuinness tackles Hardy immediately. Hardy gives it out though. Walsh is there with the inclusion in Andrew Palmer. No whistle there, and siren's blown. And that is the finish of the second quarter here at Skybus Oval, with Lauderdale currently leading this contest 8-5-53 to North Hobart 3-1-19. Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, 4 goals to 1 in that second quarter. That tells the story. Lauderdale able to get on top in this contest. Kalkovsky still leading the way with 3 goals. Luke Nelson.
Might be a bit of, sorry to interrupt you, mate, but might have been a bit of a repeat from the first quarter. Doesn't look like it.
So I think we'll be getting that all afternoon in this contest. 8-5-53, as you said, plays 3-1-19. Kalkovsky with 3 goals for Lauderdale. Singles to Nelson, Walsh, Martin and Richmond. North Hobart perspective, 2 to DeBoz and 1 to Baxter Norton, the only goal kicker for the Demons in that second quarter. So a game that started with a fair bit of promise for North Hobart, quite an arm wrestle early. Lauderdale, particularly in that second term, were able to just capitalise on their opportunities more than the Demons run.
Yeah, I felt like they controlled the play a lot more in that second quarter. The Bombers obviously they were able to hit the scoreboard well, which will please Darren Winter and the coaching staff at the Bombers. But yeah, I feel like the message from Bear Robinson at half-time would be, as you said, Ozzy, just if we can control the play in the middle of the ground, obviously get a few stoppages going our way, get a few clearances out. When you've got a guy like Julian DeBoz down there that's already kicked 2, he's looked pretty lively early. If they can get the ball cleanly down to him in the forward 50, they're going to give themselves a real shot in this second half.
Yeah, interesting to note as well, late in that second quarter, we saw Jai Menzies pushing up and playing a bit of time on ball as well. So Bear Robinson certainly got the arsenal to move things around and really to try and stretch Lauderdale with a couple of positional changes. Interesting to see what he does in the second quarter. That second quarter there, obviously, the news we're not 100% sure about Bailey Walker being helped off the ground after a huge collision with Sam Burge. He looked to be okay, but obviously our thoughts are with Bailey Walker as well. Half-time at Skybus Oval, 8-5-53. The hosts lead North Hobart 3-1-19. We'll take a short break and bring the second half action to you very shortly. Welcome back to Skybus Oval down in very sunny Lauderdale, the sunny side of the river down here in Hobart. Lauderdale 8-5-53, leading North Hobart 3-1-19. You can see the Lauderdale players back out of the room, starting to just get through their warm-ups. North Hobart just making their way out of the change rooms at the moment. So that second quarter, 4 goals for Lauderdale. North Hobart just 1 goal, 1. Recapping the goal kickers, Adrian Kalkowski with 3 for Lauderdale, Luke Nelson with 2, Bryce Walsh, Tyler Martin and Harry Richmond all with singles for North Hobart. Julian DeBollers has 2, both in the first quarter. Baxter Norton also has a single. So 8-5-53 Lauderdale lead North Hobart 3-1-19. And a really interesting game at KG5 that's just wrapped up. Glenorchy, they get a huge win, 81-52 against Clarence, arch rivals. And as we've talked about before, a bit of a logjam in the middle of the ladder, Ryan Rosendale, and this Lauderdale-North Hobart game is obviously going to have a big impact on the structure of finals towards the pointy end of the season, but that result over at KJ5, Glenorchy running away with a pretty comfortable victory, 81-52 against Clarence, is another huge result.
As you just said, Oz, yeah, really kind of gives Glenorchy a bit of an advantage in that logjam. Gets them up to 3 wins and 4 losses. Probably if North Hobart aren't able to run away with a win here, that'll put them over the top of the D. So good couple of weeks for the Pies out of KG5, obviously with that good win against North Hobart last week. And then, as you said, Clarence have surprised a few this season. Obviously, they had that first team in the comp to defeat the previously undefeated Launceston up at Windsor Park a few weeks ago. So no doubt Paul Kennedy would be a very happy man out of KG5 this afternoon.
It's just a really interesting competition to follow this year. With the TSL, for a lot of the time within the season, you've had ebbs and flows with certain teams, but the actual structure of the ladder in recent years has been pretty well solid. Established. But this year, it is really intriguing, and I think the condensed fixture and this little period now, we've got some midweek games happening and whatnot. Who knows where these balls that are in the air at the moment are going to land? And I think this game now, as you just touched on very well, North Hobart, with 2 wins and 4 losses heading into today, if they do lose today, they're now 2-5. They drop below Glenorchy, and all of a sudden, they're really up against it to crack into finals footy after such a promising start. And
it's probably a disappointing result if they do lose, because they were really the surprise packet in probably the opening 3 rounds. Obviously, they went up to UTAS Stadium and had that really tight contest against the reigning premiers in round 1, and they came out and they beat the Tigers in round 2, and then, as we spoke about pre-game, they had a really impressive win against Lauderdale in round 3. So if they are to drop down to second last on the ladder, that'll really put the heat on the North Hobart Demons in the back half of the season, because, as you just said, Oz, this season's as close as ever, and I feel like it's anyone's to win, even though it's probably the 2 teams up north that are in with the best shot at this stage of the year.
Yeah, it's again, just plenty of things that we're not 100% sure where they're going to land, and it's just great to have football back and this competition. I think we've mentioned a few times already, an influx of talent from interstate, Tasmanians who have returned, other players from other competitions wanting to test themselves at the top level in Tassie footy, and I think the product has been a real beneficiary of that as well. And this second half, back at Skybus Oval, I'm really intrigued to see what sort of response we get out of North Hobart. As we said, they started really brightly, but Lauderdale able to get on top in that second quarter and take a comfortable lead into the main break. So we just wait for everyone to get back into position now. That Alan Smith duel has been fascinating all afternoon. I think Smith's probably had the better around the ground, but I reckon the hit-outs were probably pretty close between those two. We've had, obviously, the likes of Hardy, Havea, even Siggins chip in the ruck as well. So looking forward to this second half of football at Skybus Oval. What can North Hobart respond with as the ball is thrown in the air by umpire Butler? Allen wins the ball down. Bryce Walsh immediately lays a tackle on Sam Caswell. Have a rinse and repeat to start the second half.
Interested to see if there's any run with rolls from the Demons in this second half as they look to get a bit of momentum through that engine room. As the ball goes up now. Quick kick out there by the Bombers. Looking for Nelson. He can't take it. Williams is there as a defender. Ball comes out now through the Demons. Quick kick there looking for Willis. He can't take it. Ball goes over his head. Number 7 there for the Bombers, in Francis. Gets that one out to Bell Chambers. He kicks inside 50 now, looking for Havea. Works Hardy off the ball really well. Richmond comes back inside. Quick kick to the man we've spoken about before in number 11, Luke Nelson, and he's going to, I hope so, put this one through the big sticks.
I've penciled it in, Ryan. I hope he doesn't make a
hope he doesn't make a fool of me, but He's been in pretty good form. Obviously, he kicked 3 goals last week, Ozzy. He's kicked a couple today, and as you said, running with that tucked-in jumper as he comes in now, directly in front. Makes no doubts about it. Luke Nelson kicks the first of the third quarter, and the Bombers kick away.
Absolutely. It's a really dangerous Lauderdale forward line. As we've said before, a very different-looking team this year, multifaceted, and interesting to note that Havea and Hardy were going toe-to-toe inside Lauderdale's attacking 50 there. So Hardy, perhaps, instead of playing the role as the key forward and chip in ruckman, he might actually be trying to lock down on Havea just to really combat the size and strength of Havea as well.
Probably a good coaching move too from Bear, considering you've got a guy like Jacob Still and you throw DeBoss, as we spoke about. You don't want too tall in that forward line, so probably it could be a move that works out well for the Ds.
Yeah, they've certainly got the targets and the ground level mosquito fleet as well, but back in the middle, looks like Willis and Walsh are going to be running with each other at the moment. Kilpatrick just bullocks his way through. Somehow the ball gets free. Hayden Smith does the roving, tries to get over the top to Siggins, but Allen and McManus now go toe-to-toe. Allen just grabs his arm. Good strong tackle laid, but McManus strong enough to get the kick out. And Lauderdale, they're out the back. Tyler Martin, shot on goal. Probably needed to do better with that, Tyler Martin. That one out of bounds on the full. North Hobart let off the hook as they now try and bring the ball out of defensive 50. Baxter Norton in the pocket.
Ball comes back in, as you just said, Ozzy. Baxter Norton's got it deep in defensive 50. He comes out wide to Callum Kilpatrick, the man they call Oysters. Set upon immediately by Nathan Oakes. Really good defensive play there from the VFL import as the umpire's whistle's blown. And we're going to have a ball up, I'd say, just inside the forward 50 for the Bombers, and they are looking dangerous early. As the ball goes up, Smith wins that one down. Siggins is there, but the ball doesn't agree with him, and it's going to trickle over the line for a boundary throw-in. Definitely inside 50 now.
Yeah, you can immediately see Sean Willis has been at every stoppage so far, so he's now playing as a permanent midfielder to start this second half. So keen to see how that unfolds. Smith decisively wins that down, but only as far as Kilpatrick. Just starting to get his hands on the football, his Oysters, but that one, umpire's whistle, the Bombers were out through Siggins and Burge, but it's going to come back. I think Kilpatrick might have been either taken higher in the back, so he's got the ball at half back. Dinky little kick, does well to find Jai Menzie. He goes inboard. Dangerous kick in the Paddy Walker direction. Reece Sutton does well to intercept. The ball now picked up by Tom Reeves, but he's laid in a tackle.
Good tackle there by
Francis.
Francis, as you said, Aussie.
Another one of those players who has been on the fringe in previous seasons, but looks to be locking down a spot in the starting 22. Smith wins it down. Tom Reeves is there for the Bombers. His handball only goes as far as that man Francis again, and up and under towards the wing. Williams is there for North Hobart, just shoves Tyler Martin out of the way. Martin swoops in, but the umpire deems that the ball had been locked in long enough. Boundary throw in, ball up I should say, right on the boundary, on the wing.
Ball comes back in, thrown up there by the umpire, kick out there by Willis, little dingy one. Ball goes to ground, tackle there by Bell Chambers I think it is. Umpire's whistle's blown, and we're going to have another ball up. Pretty tight and contested early in this third quarter. I was
going to say, this footy is Lauderdale's bread and butter, isn't it? Big-bodied midfielders just bullocking their way through.
They bat so deep in that engine room. It's no wonder they've made 3 consecutive grand finals. As the whistle's blown, looks like it's going to be a Lauderdale free kick here. That man looks to be Phil Bell Chambers. No, looks like it might be Heavey. He kicks inside 50. Great mark taken there by that man in Harry Richmond. Good mark there by Harry Richmond. Obviously, he kicked 3 goals last week. He's kicked just the one today. He's looking for his second now, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, this one's certainly a bit tougher than his first goal today. It was from right on the goal line when he got out the back. Ruglioni found him on that occasion, but this is a very difficult kick. Tucked up in the pocket, going to be kicking from just inside the 50. The ball's on the way from Harry Richmond as we look to the goal line. Punch through. Well done by Hamish Allen and Jack Sandrick. A minor score. Lauderdale 9-6-60. North Hobart 3-1-19. So Sandrick's going to bring the ball back into play. And North Hobart, they just need to find a way to get the ball beyond centre at the moment. They're just breaking down in that transition between half back and half forward. Hardy, tucked up in the back pocket, goes inboard to Sam Collins, who just wants to make sure he gets a bit of space. Now, you can tell the weather's nice when Sam Collins is running in without the long sleeves. As he kicks the ball up the wing to Jake Steele. Heavy's at ground level after some good work from Smith in the contest. Tap back from McCulloch. In pursuit, Shaw gets the ball out wide for Lauderdale. Heavy's there. but North Hobart with the numbers. McCulloch goes back inboard. Jake Steele now on the wing as he kicks the ball down the line looking for a target. It's going to float over the top. DeBoz swoops in, takes the ball out of bounds for a throw in.
Again, even though that ball went out of bounds, just the cleanness of DeBoz below his knees. For a tall man, I'm guessing he's onwards of 190 centimetres, probably deep in the 190s. Just the cleanness of him below his knees has been really, really good today from the big man.
And I mean, it's not wet weather footy, but you can see there's some muddy patches around the ground. So it's not an easy day to get down and pick the ball up. So well done from DeBoz. Allen just wins that ball down. In the end, he just isn't able to dispose of the football. It's going to be a free kick going the way with a push in the back there. Going Josh McGuinness, star of this Lauderdale side.
Gives it to Oakes. Oakes switches the play to the bench side of the ground looking for Baker, but the ball's going to trickle in front of him over the line. Josh McGuinness obviously is having a fairly good season. He's been a bit quiet today compared to usual, but he's a guy that sets up Lauderdale really well behind the play, Aussie.
Yeah, he's just a class footballer. That time he spent with Brisbane, obviously hugely beneficial to his football. And then last year, capping off a great season with the captaincy of the under-25s team. Just speaks volumes about him as well.
Ball comes back in now. Throw in, Sandrick's there. Whistle's been blown. Sorry, that wasn't Sandrick. That was Will Pepin, the man running the long sleeves. So he's going to look to drive this ball deep inside 50 for the Demons. We're looking for DeBoz. He's there. Might have taken that, but Sam Burge is the man that gets over the top. Really good courage there from Burge and DeBoz. This ball comes out through Baker. That man I just spoke about, and Burge gets a kick out. Quick handball there from the Bombers. Harry Richmond's got it. Kicks inside 50. One-on-one here. Kowkowski drops the mark, but really good follow-up. Ducks weaves out of play there. Kicks back in. Harry Richmond drops the mark. Can't take it. D's repel through defence, but Sam Burge is there. Good little follow-up from Burge. Heavey's there all alone. Fumbles that ball. Can't keep his feet. Kick out there. D's look to repel here through number 48 in Paddy Walker. He kicks. Demons immediately set upon by 3 Lauderdale players. Sam Siggins is one of them. McCulloch's there, the D's captain on the ground. Looks like probably a ball up here, and it looked like the D's were on there, Aussie.
Yeah, some high-octane football, wasn't it? Just prior to that, Lauderdale just continuing to press and press and press. But an interesting position now. It's just a bit of breathing space. Smith wins the ball down in the McManus direction. Jake Steele is there at ground level. As Jack Sandrick just bullocks his way through. Sam Caswell throws the ball on his boot as he tries to gain some meterage for the Demons. Wrapped up in the tackle was Palmer. So it's going to be a ball up inside the centre square.
Haven't seen Bailey Walker early in this third quarter, so we believe he might be done for the day.
Yeah, after that impact, you'd probably suggest his day's done. Some quick hands out of the stoppage. Siggins goes in the Walsh direction, but well done from the Demons just to put a bit of pressure on. Reece Sutton swoops around the back, has the composure and the time to find his teammate in Ratcliffe. Ratcliffe unable to complete his disposal, and now a dangerous position for Lauderdale defence as Jai Menzie goes inside 50. Mark taken. Callum Kilpatrick.
Really good mark there by Kilpatrick. Strong in the contest. Obviously, he was the man in front, and he's reaped the rewards there with a really great grab inside 50 against Nick Baker.
Yeah, good ball inside 50 as well. And Kilpatrick, you've seen him early in this second half get quite a bit of football across half back. That's sort of the role we're used to him playing, the half back wing role. If you can get a goal out of Kilpatrick, that's a huge win for North Hobart as he begins his pursuit on goal now. Tight angle. Ball's on the way. Immediately likes it. Does Callum Kilpatrick. The Oyster gets the goal for North Hobart. They kick their fourth. 4-1-25 to Lauderdale 9-6-60. Just under 10 minutes gone in this third quarter at Skybus Oval.
It's probably one of the first mark inside 50 they've had. Probably, I'd hope to say, probably early in that second quarter. So when they actually able to get the ball cleanly inside 50, as we said, DeBoz is a guy that is copping a fair bit of attention from the Lauderdale defence, as he should. So if other guys can pop up and kind of be that, if DeBoz can, when he is getting a fair bit of attention, if he can play like a decoy role, and guys like Oysters Kilpatrick and Nathan Hardy, if he does go back forward, Jacob Still, if they can pop up and get a few goals on the board, the D's are in with a shot with this contest. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the middle, Allen and Havea. Havea decisively wins it down. Umpire's whistle. It's going to go the way. They might have thought they had a bit of an advantage there to Lauderdale, but it's going the way of North Hobart. So they'll stop and prop towards half back. Sean Willis been a bit more productive to start this second half. He hoists the ball to half forward in the direction of Menzie. Almost pulls it in. Does the mid-sized forward, Lauderdale with the numbers as they repel through Reece Sutton.
Great spoil there by the defender in Hugh Williams. Gives Luke Nelson a bit afterwards, lets him know about it. But as you said, it was a really good bit of play there from John Menzies. Looked like he might have got that one on the second grab, but the ball didn't agree with him. It just slipped out of his hands on that second grab as umpire Bevis looks to bring this one back into play. As we're 11 minutes gone in this third quarter. As we said, these short quarters in this COVID-hit season of TSL footy make it every goal matter. As the ball comes back into play, Allen wins that one down. Might have been taken high there. I think he has been. The umpire's called it. It's a Bell Chambers free kick. So he looks to bring this one forward for the Bombers. Smart player, Bell Chambers, so he's going to look to set up. Looks for an option. Gets around Allen, the big man. He drives forward along that wing. Kicks high ball. Really good mark taken there by that man in Harry Richmond. He immediately plays on, gives it to dangerous Reece Sutton. He's found a man inside 50. 2 players free, and it's number 7, William Francis, is going to get the shot on goal.
They were just lining up there, weren't they, Lauderdale? When the ball's in Reece Sutton's hands, he was always going to find one of them. He had Heavey there as well. And Francis, who, have to say, I haven't seen him play a lot of his football inside 50. He's usually been that back pocket, half-back flank sort of player. So we'll get you to call this one, Ryan, and see if you can call him through for a major score.
Put the pressure on him, Aussie. But as he comes in now, Will Francis, young Lauderdale star, comes in. Doesn't hit that well off the boot, and it looks like it might have gone out of bounds on the full. It has. Put the pressure on him there, Oz, and he didn't eventuate.
No, it was more of a question, right? I hadn't seen him inside 50 too often before. A disappointing result in the end, but he got himself in a good position. Lauderdale just look so dangerous and they're moving the ball quickly. How can North Hobart respond? Pepin drives the ball to half back. A strong mark taken. Will Poland does that so well, does the Matthew Richardson medalist. He goes inboard to Bell Chambers, who has really been busy today as he drives the ball inside 50. The pack's going to form. Hardy just wins that down, tapping in the direction of the boundary. But Kalkowski, he loves a bit of a shimmy, as does Luke Nelson. A snap on the way. Minor score. Luke Nelson and Kalkowski, when they're linking up inside 50, Ryan, Lauderdale look so dangerous. North Hobart off the hook. 61, the Bombers play the Demons. 25, 13 gone, third quarter.
D's bringing this one out of fullback now. Play on. Handball over the top. Dangerous. But they work it out, the D's. But it looks like it might have been kicked out on the full. It has been. As I just said, anytime you decide to handball out a defensive 50, it's dangerous. You put the pressure on yourself and your teammates. And Ave is the man that's going to reap the rewards for the Bombers. He comes back into play. Going to drive this deep. The big man gets around the other big man in Allen. Skills there from Havea, and that one gone out of play by Bell Chambers. It deserved a bit more after the silky footwork from the big man in Havea.
Love that from Tutai Havea. He's just an entertaining footballer. It's good to see him back in Lauderdale colours this year. Mate, Hamish Allen looks silly as they drive the ball out of defensive 50. Francis dishes the handball over the top. Bell Chambers, he's getting a lot of the football as Allen grinds it into the ground. Looks like it's going to be the umpire's ball. So Hamish Allen, I do like that part of his game. He always does follow up well. So he's going to be duelling with Havea in this ruck contest. Neither ruck were able to win it down. Looks like they're both holding each other. Which way does the umpire decide it goes?
Allen's, I feel like it was.
No, It looks like it might have been off the play. So the Bombers give away the free kick as McCulloch kicks the ball down the line to Kilpatrick, who just kicked the goal a little earlier as McCulloch links back up again, kicks the ball to Tom Reeves. Ball was caught in the sun, but he dishes the handball out wide. Fisher wrapped up in a Josh McGuinness tackle. Josh McGuinness was not going to let Fisher get loose on his watch.
Nick Baker's letting him know about that one too, as we spoke about previously. Josh McGuinness, even when he has a quiet day, he's still one of the most influential players on the ground, and he showed just why with that excellent tackle in defensive 50 as Poland takes that mark. Another one of these shining lights in the defensive 50 for the Bombers.
Umpire's just a bit slow to blow the whistle there, I think, right?
Called it before him. So Poland drives the ball up the wing, commentary side of the ground. Mark there almost taken by Sandrick. He's set upon immediately by Tyler Martin. Looks like it might be holding the ball, but might have been the other way, and the umpire said he didn't have a lot of that ball, so I think that's Jack Sandrick with the free kick.
He's big body midfielder in this North Hobart side. Another player with VFL experience. There's plenty of them out there today. He goes back inboard to Collins, who perhaps ran Pepin into a bit of trouble, but they've got the reinforcements as Pepin is harassed back from Sutton. He goes out wide. And North Hobart in the back pocket. Finlay Poke Back inboard to Pepin, just doing a lot but not really gaining anything out of it at the moment, North Hobart, as Pepin is hurried on his kick. In the end, I'm not really sure where he was trying to go with that ball, as Luke Nelson cuts it off and draws a contest. Nelson dives in once again. Second and third efforts have been immense from him. In the end, we'll have another stoppage on the wing.
As you said, I was not sure where he was going with that ball. It looked like Hugh Williams Jr. was the man that was closest to it, but he just looked like he might have just pinged the kick there after all that good play that he did in that back 50, and Nelson with a good few efforts there as the ball comes back in. Caswell's there, he's got it, immediately set upon. Massive bump there by Bryce Walsh on number 19 in Will Pepin. And he's that type of player, Bryce Walsh, that when the game's on the line, he uses his body, applies that physical pressure, and that's why he's the captain of this lineup. Co-captain, I should say, with Josh McGuinness. Yeah,
a couple of very, very famous names down at Lauderdale now. Bryce Walsh and Josh McGuinness been doing what they do for a long period of time. McCulloch at the bottom of that pack. Hayden Smith just
takes him with him.
Takes a man on his back as Bellchambers now inside 50. Hits up a target. Nicely done. He finds Luke Nelson inside 50. He's already kicked 3. 3 goals, 2 according to my notes here today, Ryan. He's now going to have a shot for goal number 4. Again, just got himself in a good position. And Phil Bellchambers, he has seriously stepped up since quarter time in this game of football.
Feels like he's played a fair bit of his footy today in the midfield. He's had a different role, I should say, probably off half back for the majority of the season in the early parts, but Darren Winters shifted him into the midfield today, and it's paying dividends in this third quarter.
Certainly has, and now Luke Nelson, the beneficiary, he's got a serious look at his 4th goal of the afternoon. On the way now, pretty simple kick, makes no mistake, does Luke Nelson. He has 4, he's a leading goal kicker on the park today at Skybus Oval. The Bombers, they move to 10-7-67. North Hobart 4-1-25. It's a 42-point buffer. And Lauderdale, they're having a day out now, Ryan Rosendale.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the work of Hayden Smith there. Obviously, we said it was he took the bloke on his back there, but it's just the work. He's obviously a very physical ruckman. He's one of the most experienced ruckmen in the comp, but the work he does around the ground, I feel like a lot of people don't see the work he does once that ball's been thrown up and in play. He's got a very good engine for a big man, and he's a very important cog in this Lauderdale midfield.
Certainly is, Hayden Smith. He's done quite well today, and I don't think Hamish Allen's disgraced himself either. It's just been a good duel, but Hayden Smith around the ground, as you saw before, he just bullies his way against opposition players.
Ball goes back up now. One down there by Caswell. Quick kick out over his body. Gets it to the half-forward line. Man over the back is Baker. He comes off, but the Demons get it out through Sean Willis. Directly there to the Lauderdale defender. And it's all Bombers in the back 50 as they look to switch it now. Well, they may not. They have been using this commentary side of the wing a lot today. They do in the end, and that man we've been speaking about along this quarter, Will Francis, he gets it just on the half-back flank. This play slowed up here a bit after a frantic third quarter. We are 19 minutes gone. He brings it up the Reece Sutton wingers we've deemed it today. The big man is Smith there, but a really good punch over the back from Allen. But I think it might have been a mark, and the man I just spoke about, Reece Sutton, owns this wing. He gets the ball now on that wing. Kicks inside 50. Nelson over the back, can't take the mark. Karkowski's there. Bellchambers is there. Try to get the handball over to Nelson. He's still there, Nelson. Ball keeps that in play. Bellchambers plays for that one. I think he might have played it well. Probably enough contact there to be deemed high, and he's going to get the free kick on a very tight angle deep inside 50.
Luke Nelson on Wayne Harms. I'm not sure there, Ryan. He just dived
on the goal line. Looked like it was over,
line.
Didn't it? But the umpire's
50.
Given a 50 away here. Not sure. Could have been abuse there from the North Hobart defence. And again, just undisciplined play from this Demons lineup that's just keeping them from putting any real pressure on this Lauderdale outfit.
This is just rewards for Phil Bellchambers too. He deserves a goal for all his efforts in this game, and that 50-metre penalty makes a very difficult shot.
Comes in now, makes no mistake. Phil Bellchambers, he's going to let him know about it too, and nothing doing there. Hugh Williams just stands his ground, and Phil Bellchambers has kicked the Bombers 11th of the game. They currently lead this one 11-7-73 to the Demons 4-1-25. Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, again, Lauderdale just having the better of this game, aren't they? They've now kicked 3-1 in this third quarter. Luke Nelson, again, just in the thick of the action. And I just love the way that Lauderdale move the ball inside 50. They don't have that one focal point. It's been something they've done for the last couple of years, it must be said. They've never had that one big forward they've always gone to. They've always had a couple of different options. And today, when they've just lowered their eyes, found targets, and then when they've had the other guys at ground level like Nelson, they've looked really dangerous. So we're back in the middle. Paddy Walker been thrown in the midfield by Bear Robinson. He kicks the ball to half forward. Having to sit there was Raglione. Collins also looking to be pushing up the ground at the moment for North Hobart. Willis, wrapped up in a tackle, just gets it free to Tom Reeves, who dances and weaves his way inside 50, just overcooks the ball to Julian DeBoz as McManus takes the ball on his chest.
It's a really good decision there from Reeves. Sorry, he looked to spot up DeBoz. He's a man in the better option, but again, probably just had to be selfish there and go for home. He's only probably 35 out from goal. I'm sure Bear Robinson's message at three-quarter time will be, when you're in that spot, mate, just go for the sticks.
Absolutely. Just overcooked the ball when he did try and find. Almost a mark taken there by Poland. Reeves, what does he do this time? Dinky ball inside 50, again in the DeBoz direction. Willis is at ground level. Shot on goal is on the way. It's never going to be close. Rolls through just for a minor score. So North Hobart getting the ball inside 50. Again, not able to capitalise. Tom Reeves getting busy with a couple of forays. But in the end, just for a minor score as Josh McGuinness brings the ball back into play.
McGuinness drives this up near the North Hobart bench. Sandrick's there, keeps that ball in play for the D's. Goes back out to the former captain in Williams. He brings it back just in front of that D's, goes inside 50 for the Demons. Siggins is there as the siren goes. And that is the end of the third quarter here as the Bombers currently lead this one. 11-7-73 to the Demons, 4-2-26. Blistering quarter there from the Bombers, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, certainly was. Lauderdale able to really just assert control over the contest. They only kicked 3 goals for the quarter, but they certainly looked the better side. Luke Nelson now has 4 goals for the afternoon. Adrian Kalkowski has 3, while singles for Bellchambers, Bryce Walsh, Tyler Martin and Harry Richmond. While over on the other side of the ledger with North Hobart, 2 goals to Julian DeBoz, singles to Callum Kilpatrick and Baxter Norton. In that third quarter, I think the Lauderdale midfield, they probably were getting themselves on top in the second quarter, but I think the likes of Phil Bellchambers and Sam Siggins, particularly around the stoppages, were able to get their hands on the footy, and Bellchambers, particularly with Reece Sutton working the ball inside 50, looked really dangerous to get themselves into really strong attacking positions.
It definitely feels like that's where they've got the ascendancy throughout this contest. I mean, we spoke about a lot in that quarter. Bellchambers' quarter, he was pretty influential there, but it feels like obviously we feel like Reece Sutton was probably the guy in the first quarter that got them going, and then Bryce Walsh was really good in that second quarter, and then a guy like Phil Bellchambers steps up, and we've spoken about it all game, but just the amount of quality players they have in that engine room for the Bombers is just crazy. I mean, you chuck a guy like Nathan Oakes, who had a really good game last week. As I said, Phil Bellchambers, he's probably played a lot of the season off the half-back flank, but he's been thrown in the middle today. When you've got so many options at your disposal as Darren Winter and the coaching staff all they'll do, it's no reason why that they sit pretty comfortably atop of the competition in disposals and clearances.
And this is without Nat Franklin as well, who is a former Mariners player and an out-and-out star in this Lauderdale team as well. So Lauderdale, it's all been positive for them so far today. 11-7-73 at the final change. North Hobart 4-2-26. The Bombers, they'll go into this final break with a big lead. We'll take a short breather here and bring the final quarter action to you very shortly. Welcome back to Skybus Oval. Lauderdale playing North Hobart, and Lauderdale in a very comfortable position at home heading into the final stanza. The Bombers 11-7-73 lead the Demons 4-2-26. You can see Bear Robinson just keeping his players in a little bit longer. I'm sure he's got quite a few messages for them to try and get something out of this contest. I mean, it's a huge mountain to climb if they're to get back into this game, but just to try and find some positives and get some positive momentum out of this match ahead of a clash with North Lonnie next weekend. Lauderdale, they've got Clarence next up, and with this game so far today, just think they'd be hoping to finish off well and make it a full four-quarter performance. Ryan Rosendale, we chatted during that three-quarter time break then, and just before that the Bombers midfield seemed to be getting on top. If you are a North Hobart person, what are you wanting to see in this last quarter to at least have some things you can go out of the game and say that there were some positives?
I think guys like probably Jack Sandrick need to get themselves into the game a bit. Obviously, he's one of the guys that has been brought into this lineup. Obviously, his usual runner in Troy Cunliffe is a guy we haven't spoken about today. He isn't playing today, so he's a guy that they've really missed in that midfield lineup. So I think the message from Bear Robinson at three-quarter time would have just been if we can win a bit of ball in this engine room, when we go inside 50, we've got a guy like DeBoz, we've got Hardy if he does go back there, we've got Jake still down there. If we can wrestle a bit of ascendancy our way through the middle of the ground, and we can put a bit of pressure on early on the Bombers, we can start this quarter off and give ourselves somewhat of a shot in this last term.
Absolutely. So Hayden Smith wins the ball down. Lauderdale, again, driving the ball forward early in this quarter. Sandrick looks to be starting across half back to start this term for North Hobart. Him and Reeves combine. Paddy Walker just misses out on that last ball as Phil Bellchambers gets the ball across half forward, stops, props, snaps the ball inside 50, over the back. Mark taken, and Will Poland, the swingman, he finds himself inside 50. And then Matthew Richardson, medalist, he's now got himself with a shot on goal. And I have to say, Ryan, I was not expecting Will Poland to be the man to get that ball.
I was surprised that he was the man up there, but we'll leave that for a second. As Poland comes in, the defender turned forward, makes no doubt about it. He puts through the Bombers 12th, and it's a great start for them. But as you said, Ozzy, we were a bit shell-shocked then, because Will Poland's obviously played the year in the position of full-back. He's been one of their new recruits this season, and obviously with the Bombers having a fair bit of ascendancy on the scoreboard, Darren Winters decided to throw him forward, and it's paid dividends early. He's kicked an early goal.
I mean, that has been a trademark of Lauderdale teams of years gone by. You've had your Ryan Wiggins, you've had Ben McGuinness, you've had Thorpe Oscott roll in different positions, Sam Siggins be a key forward. He likes to throw the magnets around as Darren Winter, and I'm intrigued to say. I think
he's got the talent there to do it, doesn't he?
Absolutely.
So much talent within this lineup that when you've got a lead like they do deep in this last quarter, it just gives you the flexibility to work things out and try new things. As umpire Geeson throws this ball up, Allen probably wins that one down, but taps it straight into Smith's hands. But Siggins just breaks away from the pack, takes a bounce, kicks deep inside 50. Is Poland going to be there again? He's not. Hugh Williams in the senior respect. He takes a defensive mark. The former skipper. He's going to switch this one in the back 50. Decides against the first option, goes to the second one. Brings it back inside now to the Ds. Sam Baxter Norton, he gets that one deep inside the back 50. He kicks out to the North Hobart and Lauderdale bench side of the ground. Number 13 in Sean Willis gets it. Ds bring this one forward. Just overran that one, did the Demons forward. As Lauderdale look to rebound now. They bring that one back inside. Ball goes over the heads of a few players. Looks like that's Jack Sandrick there. Can't take clean possession. Baxter Norton gets it. Just breaks away from the pack. He brings it up to the wing. Looks like this ball might trickle out, but Caswell keeps it in play. Great tackle there by the Lauderdale defender. Not sure who that was off the top of my head. Tom Radcliffe, thank you, Oz. Really good tackle there by the youngster Radcliffe.
And these are the sort of quarters for a guy like Tom Radcliffe, who's probably on the cusp of this Lauderdale team.
Yep.
If he can do some really nice things like that, it's going to hold him in good stead to keep his spot in the side. And I think it's the same thing for North Hobart as well. A lot of young players in this team, they really want to establish themselves.
100%.
Smith wins the ball down. Siggins links up. Radcliffe once again decides to switch the footy. Dangerous spot, but Bryce Walsh has ample time and a runner in Reece Sutton by his side. A couple of former MacKillop students link up together. So they bring the ball up to half forward. Kalkowski just taps the ball back between his legs. Kalkowski's showing off the party trick as he brings the ball inside 50, unable to quite finish it off. As McGuinness brings the ball out of defensive 50 in the Sandrick direction. Tell you what, Kalkowski might be one of the more entertaining players in the comp. Tackle laid by Francis. Lauderdale again with another attacking opportunity. Another party trick from Kalkowski. Over the top to Raglione, who's wrapped up in a tackle. Ball just squirts out of the contest. Wrapped up in another tackle there from the North Hobart player.
It's been lively all day, that player, and Adrian Kalkowski. 3 in the first quarter, but he's been lively across that whole half-forward line, Oz.
Absolutely. Between the legs, over the shoulders. Nothing's too difficult for him today. Paddy Walker kicks the ball out of the stoppage, just trying to gain some metres. Quick in pursuit. This Lauderdale player and Josh McGuinness has run over the line, ran into the brick wall of Caswell, and really interesting, that Fisher-McGuinness matchup, I think a lot of it's actually been Fisher trying to clamp down on McGuinness, so that's been a fascinating duel this afternoon. McGuinness has been kind of worked his way into the game, probably not as busy as he has been in other matches.
By his own standards.
Yeah.
As the ball comes back into play now, Bill Chambers is there, man we've spoken about a lot today. He gets a handball out. That man in Will Francis, he's tackled immediately by the Demons player. But it's going to work out well for the Bombers. They're inside 50 now. Demons have possession though. Quick handballs everywhere. Sandrick gets it, he gets one out to Baxter Norton. He comes back inside now. Demons look to get this one inside 50, but they can't get clean possession. Oysters Kilpatrick's that man with the footy. He kicks wide, but it's straight to a Bombers player, and it looks like it's Nick Baker there. He's going to bring this one back inside 50 for the Bombers. He does so. Goes up. Man over the back's Tyler Martin. Tyler Martin has kicked a behind. He was all on his own there, Tyler Martin. Probably had a bit more time than he thought he did. If he had straightened up, fair to say, he probably would have put that one through the big sticks, Oz.
Yeah, he's kicked one today, Tyler Martin. A couple of opportunities that he perhaps could have capitalised on, but again, another headache for opposition defences when you've got a guy like Tyler Martin down there. So the kick back out from North Hobart trickles out of bounds just in front of the North Hobart coach's box. Very unique ground at Skybus Oval. It's got fond place in the heart of TSL fans. I don't think opposition teams really love going down there. A strong tackle laid there from Oakes. Excellent work from Oakes.
Might have been rewarded.
Looks like it has as well. Really well done. So he's got the free kick just inside attacking 50, just tucked up in the pocket. We'll just assess his options. Looks like he might even just bank himself to have a ping. So Nathan Oakes, another one of those inclusions this year. Richmond VFL listed player. Ball is on the way now. Having a shot is Nathan Oakes. Just misses to the near side for a minor score. Lauderdale 13-8-86 lead the Demons 4-2-26. 10 goals of difference, 6 minutes into the last quarter.
Ball's on the wing now as the Demons look to propel this inside 50. Caswell's there. Ducks his head against Smith. Umpire knows it. He hasn't paid the free kick, and it's going to be a ball up. Obviously, umpire was smart there. Caswell ducked, didn't pay the free kick.
No, there's no doubting young Chris Kay, Ryan. He's one of the best in the business.
Best in the business. I'll take your word for it, Oz. As the ball comes back in. Hardy now, immediately tackled by Walsh, but he gets a handball away. That's Nathan Hardy. Ball stays in play here, just approaching the line, and it's definitely gone over now as that player in number 48, Paddy Walker, has been tackled over the line by the big Havea, and the captain in McCulloch's not happy with it. But if I'm a man on that field, Havea is definitely one guy I'm steering clear of, that's for sure.
Yeah, we certainly think so. I think McCulloch realised he probably wanted to back out of that quite quickly. Paddy Walker's had some moments today, unable to quite capitalise in that ruck contest. It looks like Allen's been infringed with. So dishes the ball back to Sandrick, who returned the footy to him. He drives the ball to half forward, just falls short of the contest. Raglione just paddles the ball. Jake Steele's there for North Hobart, but Sam Burge, he swoops on the loose footy. His hands are a little too hot for Heavey. It's just a bit of a scrappy football out of defensive 50 for the Bombers. A push in the back's been signalled by the umpire. It's going to go the way of Lauderdale. So it was a scrappy little passage of play, and Sam Burge draws the free kick, being buried into the ground as he kicks the ball up to half forward. Alex Heavey now on the attacking side of the wing. He drives it further afield.
Great
Sam
work by Collins.
Likely prospect is Sam Collins. Nice kick inboard from him. Finds Hugh Williams. Back to Sam Collins, who just asked for someone to present to him. He looks up to Menzies. Just tries to kick the ball to himself, does Menzies. He's got Bryce Walsh hot on his heels. But Menzies continues on. What does he do? Paddles to himself into the pocket, set to task for himself. Just gets the handball free after being beset upon by Baker. But Menzies, he's not out of this yet. Snap is on the way. Out of bounds on the full. Jai Menzies, attacking football from him. Positive football from Jai Menzies. In the end, unrewarded. But I like the energy that he brings to that North Hobart attacking
when you
50.
Yeah, as you said, when you're 60 points down in the last quarter, and a guy like Jai Menzies that's just repelling forward with second and third efforts, I'm sure that's pleasing for Bear Robinson. As the ball's back in now through the Bombers, they bring it up the line. Gets there through that man in Will Poland. He kicks it, but it's been turned over. The Captain McCulloch's got it. Sandrick gets that ground ball. Set upon by a few Lauderdale players, but he gets a handball out. Absolute bomb into the forward 50 there for the Demons, and it looks like it's paid off for the big man, DeBoz. He takes a mark.
Yeah, Will Pepin just threw the ball onto his boot, and DeBoz read it better than anyone else. He used his experience, and he's now got a shot on goal for his third of the afternoon.
Kick 2 in the first quarter. Could have had a third if it wasn't for a bit of miscommunication between him and Jacob Steele in that second quarter, but he looked lively early. Gave away a free kick to Bryce Walsh in the first quarter, but he rectified that mistake with his second goal of the day, and he's going to line up for his third here. Experienced head. First game back in 5 years for the Demons. Played with the Hobart City brand previously. Comes in now. 45 out. Julian DeBoz. Off the boot. Looks good. I think they like it. They don't. It's a behind. I pumped that up, and it's gone through for a behind us.
No, it looked like a good kick off the boot there from DeBoz. It was just the angle that might have got the better of him. So minus score for him. North Hobart with some opportunities in this last quarter, but unable to capitalise as Raglione brings the ball out to Alex Heavey, the back pocket, a veteran of this Lauderdale outfit. The knack for the mercurial Alex Heavey. Deep in the back pocket, he looks to bring the ball up in the Havea direction. But Sam Collins, he's had some promising signs in this last quarter, Collins. Takes the mark over the top. Really likely prospect, so he just assesses his options. He wants to drive the ball in quickly. In the end, goes back to Hugh Williams, who makes a meal of it in the end. I think it might have been a trip going the way of him. So free kick going the way of Williams. And perhaps been let off a bit there, have the Demons. Looks like the umpire's just making a note there as well. So Bryce Walsh.
Is it a reporter's or?
Looks like it is for tripping.
Not much in it, I don't think.
So Bryce Walsh just shakes his head as well, but Hugh Williams been let off after making a meal of the difficult handball. Now we're just waiting for the umpire to do his business, Nathan Geeson. Another one who's one of the best in the business.
Don't think he'll have a sleepless night, Bryce Walsh, over that one.
Williams kicks the ball inboard to McCulloch, who's impacted by Bellchambers, who just wants to slow him up a little bit, but McCulloch quickly retrieves the football. Now, what does he have on offer? Likely to go in the DeBoz direction. That's exactly what he does. Is Hardy actually who's down there. Over the top was Walker, who looks to be playing a little more inside 50 and harassing over the line. A strong tackle laid by Hamish Allen. And that's what you like to see from your big man, Ryan.
Being thrust forward, looks like Hamish Allen, and that'd be pretty pleasing for Bear Robinson that he's big man, and it looks like he might have been rewarded here from the umpire. We like to see that. The big man's obviously laid a big tackle, and he's been rewarded.
Absolutely. It looks like Callum Kilpatrick's just sniffing around at the moment just to see if Allen wants to dish something off.
Doesn't give the faith in his big man, but he's going to have a ping here, Hamish Allen, as he comes in. Very tight angle in the pocket. Hamish Allen, he's missed it. Probably why Oysters Kilpatrick was floating about.
It was a tough kick. I like that Allen had a ping, but yeah, again, reward for effort after a fantastic tackle. Allen, I think he's just continuing to emerge as a footballer every time I see him.
Improving each week, isn't he?
Absolutely. Just good to have a bit of a clean run at it after a few injuries have hampered previous seasons. Lauderdale bring the ball out of defence, and you can hear the pleas of Raglione straight away. He did not like his kick as soon as it left the boot.
It's like it stayed in. Kilpatrick took it, but it's cut off there by that man in William Francis. He brings it back inboard to Reece Sutton. Medley set upon though. Hugh Williams Jr.'s there. He's come up the ground, trying to bring a bit of drive to this Demons forward line. He's set upon by Siggins though, and the umpire's called for a ball up. As we are just approaching the 15-minute mark, which means we'll be into time on in this last quarter, which, if it wasn't hard enough already for the Demons, I think that might have just been it for the D's.
So Jake Steele and Havea in the contest. Steele wins it down, but Lauderdale with the numbers. Some slick work from Sammy Siggins. Dishes the handball out to Reece Sutton. Drives the ball out wide to Bryce Walsh. Waits for his runner, and that's what he gets. He dishes the ball out wide as Lauderdale bring the ball inside 50. The targets are there. Over the back, he was caught out of position, and Sam Collins did really well in the end. He's been rewarded, so he'll get the football here, Sam Collins, in the back pocket. He's had a really good last quarter.
Spot on, Oz.
Really likely prospect. Out of North Hobart. Oh, almost a mark taken by Hamish Allen. Paddy Walker lays the tackle on Nelson. McCulloch now in pursuit. Plenty of bodies around this football. The umpire will bring it back. And I reckon that moment from Hamish Allen probably sums up North Hobart's day.
Yep.
In a good position, almost takes the grab, just unable to quite stick the landing.
Some days it's just not your day, is it? But they've done everything right in terms of effort and intent, the Demons, but it's just been probably a bit of polish and the finish that's let them down today against a really good side in Lauderdale. So D's, however, look to drive this inside 50. They do. DeBoz over the back, gets a quick kick out. Ball's going to dribble towards the line. DeBoz, is it going to get there? It's not. It kind of just sat and waited as number 15 for the Bombers, I should say, and Oscar Shaw, the late inclusion, has just put that one across the line when it looked like, for all intensive purposes, I was going to just dribble across the line, but it just kind of stayed where it was until Oscar Shaw got there.
I could see you trying to wheel it over the line there, Ryan. It was agonisingly close, but in the end, Lauderdale let off the hook. Some sharp work from Oscar Shaw. So bring the ball out of defensive 50, looking for Sammy Siggins. He's in a contest now with Fisher. Handball over the top to Paddy Walker. Ball brought back over the top to Caswell. Looks like he might be getting a free kick. Well, North Hobart trying to get the advantage, but it will be brought back. So it's against Will Francis. Hugh Williams was going to take it, but in the end, it's been quickly moved on by Norton, who drives the ball inside 50. Players there, and Oscar Shaw for Lauderdale, happy to paddle that ball out of bounds for a throw-in, directly in front of the canteen at Skybus Oval. That's the 15-minute mark now. 86 Lauderdale plays North Hobart 29. It's been a comfortable day at the office for Lauderdale, it must be said.
2 good weeks, obviously. That really good win against the Tigers last week for the Bombers, and after that bye that they had in round 6, it looks round 6. They've come into a good bit of form here for the 3-time grand finalists. As the ball's back in play now, McCulloch with a strong tackle there on Oakes. Sam Burge on the bottom of that pack. He gets a handball out. That man in Luke Nelson gives it up to Siggins, and he's handballed that one. Looks like to Raglione, but it's out of play, Anthony Osborne.
I reckon the last couple of weeks, Lauderdale, with so many new players, they've just started to find the recipe for hitting the scoreboard. So last week they kicked 15 goals. The 3 weeks prior to that, they actually kicked 15 goals combined. So they've gone 15 goals across 3 weeks, 15 last week, 13 this week. They're actually starting to hit the scoreboard, and I think it's just that team synergy that's just starting to get back into Lauderdale's footy.
Excellent point. Excellent point, Ozzy. As you say, obviously it takes a bit of time when you have so many new faces into a lineup as experienced as this, as it looks like Jacob Steele, the other big man for the Demons, is going to have that. But yeah, as you said, obviously when you get a bit of new talent into a lineup, especially an experienced lineup, it takes a bit of time from all to gel together, and definitely looks like the last 2 weeks they have, as it looks like Jacob Steele's not too sure if he's got the distance here, but I think he's going to go for it. He was a bit unsure early, but he comes in now. Jacob Steele, the big man for the D's. Doesn't trouble the scorers at all. DeBoz is there. Goes straight through his hands, can't take it. It's a good tackle there by Thomas Reeves. And they've had a fair bit of ball in the last 2 or 3 minutes deep inside 50 for the D's. But as it's been all day, they get it down there. But it's just been that defensive work of the Bombers that has just put it straight back out of that forward 50. As it looks like it's going to happen again here. Sam Burge has got it. Sorry, that's Bryce Walsh. He handballs over to his namesake, to his likeness in Sam Burge. He gets that one out. Oh, it's cut off excellently there by McCulloch. Oysters Kilpatrick's got it. He handballs back. Nathan Hardy's there. Shifted into defence in the second half. He's played well down there. Siggins is there. Keeps that one in play. He gives that one back to the big man in Jeremiah Perkins. He busts his way through. Sorry, that's Raglione. He gives it off to Reece Sutton. He was lively early, really put the Bombers on the board in that first quarter with a lot of play on that wing. They get it out now to Josh McGuinness. Had a good battle today with his number 43 also in Michael Fisher. Fisher's probably been really good on him, but as we said, Josh McGuinness has pretty high standards, so he's been very good all season, Josh McGuinness. The ball gets driven inside 4 by Will Francis. Sam Burge goes up, takes a great grab. Sam Burge, he copped a fair bit of attention late there from number 22 in Oysters Kilpatrick. It was a good contest by Kilpatrick, but set himself well for that one, Sam Burge Osborne, and he's taken that really well.
Certainly has, and a positive bit of play there from Robbie McManus just to drive the ball in deep, and now Sam Burge in his second season in the red and black has a pretty simple set shot. It's on the way, and I have just put the mockers on him. I apologise, Sam Burge, and I apologise, Lauderdale, but you're still in a pretty comfortable position. 13-9, 87. to North Hobart 4-5-29.
Happens a lot, doesn't it? Play takes a really good grab inside 50. They do all the right things early and then they just fail to hit the scoreboard where they want to, and definitely deserved a goal, that Mark Sam Burge, as Jack Sandrick now looks to bring this one out of the defence for the Bombers, but he's doesn't have an option up the field, so he goes wider.
And not a lot seemed to be easy for North Hobart today, has it? Oh, and speaking of, Reece Sutton chops that ball across.
He called it, Oz.
Got in front, took the mark, and you obviously can't see on the stream the entire press that Lauderdale are running with, but it just looks like North Hobart have no options, no one there for an easy kick, and Reece Sutton in the end capitalised. He just ran across, worked well with Sam Burge and took the mark, and Hugh Williams is making to suck it in at the moment.
He's a tough nut, Hugh Williams. He's a leader of this side, so if he's been hit and he's down, it's definitely a reason for that. As Reece Sutton comes in, he brings the angle across. He's worked that well, not well enough though, and it's free kick, whistle blown. Looks like it's a free kick to the Demons. Williams is going to take that one. Might have been against Martin there, he's on the mark. Ball comes back inside, Baxter Norton's got it. He immediately plays on now as we approach a 20-minute mark in this last quarter. Karkowski's there, but the ball's dribbled out, and as we approach the end of this contest, mate, it's been a really solid four-quarter performance from the Bombers, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But even in this quarter, North Hobart have had opportunities forward of centre, but the defensive efforts of Lauderdale haven't let up. They've been really strong all day, and they've kept North Hobart goalless in this last quarter. They've kicked 2 goals themselves, so I think Darren Winter will be really happy with the way his troops have performed today.
Ball comes back into play now. McCulloch's there, gives a quick handball up. Sandrick's got it now. Ball's on the ground. A few players approach the ball. Really good intent there by the North Hobart player, but McGuinness, a silky smooth move, has got that one. Gives it out to Francis. He gives that one out to Heavey. Heavey kicks forward. Collins is there, playing in front really well. Ball goes out now. Ball on the ground. Collins is there again. He's had a really good last quarter, Sam Collins. Can't find a target though, and the stalwart and Heavey's got it in the back 50 as Baker's going to get this one, Anthony Osborne.
Yeah, Heavey just missed the target, but Baker had plenty of time. Decides to switch the ball to his skipper in Bryce Walsh, who again just forced a little bit of extra work, but he's got some support there in Josh McGuinness, a couple of the senior heads at the Lauderdale Footy Club combining late in this game. McGuinness, who's had Fisher run with him for the majority of the afternoon, retreats ground, goes back to Baker, ships the ball out wide. The switch is now on. Sam Siggins with an absolute paddock, takes one bounce, continues to run, just props the ball up to half forward. A strong mark taken by Hayden Smith, uncontested in the end. He quickly turns around, drives the ball inside 50. Has he got a target? He does. Tutai Havea takes the mark as the siren sounds at Skybus Oval. So Tutai Havea will have the final kick of the game. Just stretching himself out a little bit there is Havea. He's been a strong competitor all afternoon. So we'll wait to see this shot on goal, and we'll have a bit of a debrief about this contest, Ryan Rosendale. It's been an excellent day for the Lauderdale Football Club at home. It's a big game in the context of this season. And Tutai Havea now be kicking tucked up against the boundary, right on the paint of 50 to put the cherry on top. Kick on the way. It was always going to fall short. Doesn't trouble the scorers. So full time at Skybus Oval. An emphatic win to the Lauderdale Football Club. 13-9-87 to North Hobart 4-5-29. Lauderdale, they now move to 4-3. The Demons, they're 2-5, and that is exactly the win Lauderdale needed as this little mini reboot of their season continues.
As you spoke about late in that last quarter, Oz, it's really been the last 2 weeks post-bye for the Bombers that they've really been able to gel as a group together. Obviously, a fair few new faces in Luke Nelson, Will Poland's come in from Kingston, Karkowski's another guy, Nathan Oakes. A lot of new faces in this experienced lineup that's made 3 consecutive grand finals. So they had probably by their own standards, probably disappointing start to the year. Obviously, they won 2 games, but they had that loss to North Hobart in round 3. So the ability to just take a step back, debrief after the bye, and they had a really good win last week against the Tigers where they kicked 6 straight to open the game, and then today they were really on top for the majority of the day. North Hobart looked good early. DeBoz looked really good, kicked 2 first quarter goals, but it was just I feel like the work in the engine room for the Bombers was the difference today.
Absolutely, and then down back to keep North Hobart to just 4 goals was a really impressive effort. We better run through the goal kickers before we forget as well. Luke Nelson leading the way with 4 majors, Adrian Kalkowski with 3, Will Poland bobbed up with a 1 goal in the final term, also singles to Phil Bellchambers, Bryce Walsh, Tyler Martin and Harry Richmond. Over on the North Hobart side of things, as you just touched on, just the 4 goals for the afternoon, 2 to Julian DeBoz in the opening term, singles to Baxter Norton and Callum Kilpatrick. So 4 goals for the day for North Hobart, none in the final term. Lauderdale, as we've touched on, 13 goals today following a 15-goal effort last week. They're back in business, Ryan, Lauderdale, and I guess before we get into your votes, which I know you're eager to do, you've been diligently looking at all day. I guess if we just touch about where this leaves the 2 teams at this point of the season, Lauderdale now in a really strong position with Clarence next week. North Hobart now probably a little bit behind the 8 ball with Glenorchy also winning today. So yeah, it's a really interesting point of this season as we head towards the pointy end. The season's going very quickly. And a result like this today is massive for the Lauderdale Football Club. Now, you can give us your votes, Ryan, but feel free to also talk about a couple of the other players that you thought were impressive today. I'll handball this one over to you. And
put the heat on me, mate. I might
we'll see if the public agree.
Hopefully do better than I did last week when I got put on by Brent. I thought Phil Bellchambers was really good all day. I thought he was one of the movers in that midfield group. Obviously, if I have to give 3, I'll probably give it a Phil. I think if I had to go for a 2, it's probably a tie between, or a split down the middle between Luke Nelson. He was good forward, but he also had a lot of the ball throughout that half forward line. So I might give 2 to Luke Nelson, Oz, and might sneak 1 in to potentially Sam Siggins. I thought he was good all day. Obviously BOG last week, and again he's just a ball magnet. Sam Siggins. He's for a guy of his size to be able to run through the middle as he does. He's really excelled since coming back to the TSL from the VFL.
No, absolutely. So we've got 1 vote to Sam Siggins, 2 votes to Luke Nelson, and 3 votes to Phil Bellchambers. Is that right? Yep.
Yeah, we'll go with that. I'm not sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see if Darren Winter agrees with me when the best players get released later tonight.
The other thing as well, Ryan, is this year there is nowhere to hide with the Premier Data stats.
True,
so we'll have to see whether the stats back it up. But I think, those 3 were certainly impressive performers today. And
anyone else catch your eye on the Lauderdale side of things before we jump to North Hobart?
Yeah, I mean, on the Lauderdale side of things, I thought players like Hayden Smith, I thought he had a pretty solid day. Reece Sutton was pretty strong. Will Poland in defence I thought was really good, especially spending a lot of the day against Julian DeBoz, who started like a house on fire. Those sort of players. Nick Baker I thought was really solid, but again,
Tchaikovsky early.
I think exactly right. I think the nature of a Lauderdale side we've seen in recent years is a pretty even spread.
Yep.
I think we got that again today.
100%.
The North Hobart side of things, I thought Hamish Allen competed really well in the ruck. Callum Kilpatrick I thought was one of their more solid performers. Sam Collins, I thought his second half, particularly the last quarter, was really impressive. Just continued to do everything really under quite a bit of pressure in the back half of the ground.
Michael Fisher's role on Josh
McGuinness, yeah, he was solid. Jack Sandrick was quiet for moments, but had little bursts there where he was able to get his hands on the football. But Sean Willis had some moments as well. But in the end, a disappointing day for the Demons, going down quite decisively in the end to Lauderdale. And now as we head towards the back half of this season, which is crazy to think, we're only in round 8, we're already talking about the run home to finals footy. Lauderdale now find themselves in a really good position at 4 and 3. North Hobart at 2 and 5 with plenty of work to do. It's been it wasn't the close encounter that we probably hoped for, Ryan, but still plenty of engaging and interesting things to come out of that game as we now move towards the back end of the season. It's been a pleasure bringing this one to you. Lauderdale 13-9-87 defeat North Hobart 4-5-29. I've been Anthony Osborne. Great to have you with me, Ryan Rosendale.
Been a pleasure, Oz, as always, mate.
Good to be with you. Good to have you guys watching as well. We'll close this one up for today and bring TSL action to you later on in the season. A reminder that tomorrow we've got Launceston after a midweek game, backing it up very quickly against the Tigers. So make sure you tune into that across the AFL Tas and Tasmanian State League channels. It's been a pleasure bringing this one to you. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye for now.